You leaned a little early.
I leaned a little early, didn't I?
We would have to.
Oh,
another take.
man.
Let's do one more take. Ready?
Oh, do one more take. Let's just check it. Okay, do your thing.
Welcome to Superfly with your host, David Spade. And
oh, wait. Now I'm later. Oh, I wait for my name?
Yeah, I gotta give you a name.
Anyone watching this, trust me, we're shooting the rehearsal.
No, I did not get the memo.
Go ahead.
This is quality. That you won't believe this. This is not scripted. Okay. Welcome to Superfly with your host, David Spade and Dana Carvey. Yeah, there you go. Fucking print it. Moving on. Going to lunch.
Damn it. Podcasting's easy.
Primping.
We're gonna get
trumping.
So many people smashing our subscription button. Thank you so much.
Smash that fucking thing. I don't care if you break your phone or camera or whatever, or your laptop.
Don't touch it. Don't just go.
Oh, yeah. We're at 175 now on YouTube.
Damn.
That's it. It's inching up.
Don't just go like that.
Yeah.
No, don't go like that.
Don't go like this. Rub, subscribe, go fucking.
Bam.
Let's ask Tyson to come on because he's got that fight coming up.
Yeah, we got a fight coming up, and I'm gonna hit him so hard it's gonna kill his whole family. You know, I didn't really want to kill his family, but I hit him so hard, even his relatives will feel the pain. I'm Mike Tyson.
I know now he's nicer. He goes, "I'll hit you so hard you're gonna wake up with a bit of a stomach ache."
I know that's what
you're gonna get a tummy ache.
He threatens really heavily, but he's. After the fight, he's a pussycat, you know. Before the fight, I'll kill your entire family. After the fight, you know, would you like to go maybe climb on some jungle bars?
Come over. I could put a hot water bottle on it.
Let's go and do it. Let's play. I don't even have Mike Tyson down. Newsflash to impressionists. It takes a while.
It sounds good. I'm
going I ain't got to do it harder. No, you know, I was hitting him so hard. I was so scared. It's still very Brooklyn there. Yeah, I was so scared. You got to love Tyson. Let's get Iron Mike.
I like Tyson. I did his podcast, and it was he had a guy there because, you know, he has like I sit in the middle and he has a guy on one side that's sort of the mediator, you know, like co-host.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then he would ask questions. Mike would ask questions. It was kind of fun. But the other guy, not a professional, but like a professional football player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The Mike Tyson has a kind of a sneaky hyper wisdom, you know?
Yeah.
No filters. It's just really simple, you know?
I think it's called hot boxing. So I think they combine boxing with smoking weed. And
yeah,
the results are incredible. Let's look at a clip.
He is known to have a little bit of a funny cigarette.
Oh, it's funny because
the 70s.
You get a little Mary Jane. A little wacky tobacco. There's one.
That was a good because it's the lips pinched and then to the right.
A little.
I want to only
funny
shoot
friend.
This side. That's really fucking poof town. Okay, so let's talk. What's going on in the world? We'll start with the convention.
The convention this past week.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
We talked about the Republican convention. For those of you who don't know, they have a convention, and then the Democrats do.
4 days long, and they're kind of similar to each other. There's a lot of like diehard freaks out there with badges and hats, just jangling things. Yeah, you know. And they start at 3 p.m, and some of the speakers are obscure congressmen you never heard of, and they just drone.
Bill Squankmeyer.
And yeah, from the great state of Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen, we go out into a new world, a world that's changing, a changing world.
Yes. But if you're the head, if you're Obama, you're like, don't bite my shit. Don't talk about crime. This is my stuff. Don't say Trump. That's all my stuff. If I was a headliner, I'd say, these things I don't want the openers talking about.
And then, yeah, when, you know, Obama comes out, he's just cool, you know. He just brings it all down. He's got 18,000 people waiting. And that's the thing we're going to do. We'll do it every time. And what he did, which surprised me, and I thought it was funny, he did a dick joke about Donald Trump.
Oh, what was it?
So he's up there. He goes like this. He goes, and Donald Trump seems to have a strange obsession with crowd sizes. Then he goes with his hands. He goes like this, goes apart, looks down, and goes back. Big laugh.
Oh, visual. He's doing visual stuff too.
He did a visual thing. He said that I heard they had some tape of him with Michelle. I'm going to do the hand out, my hand in, I look down, and they'll know it's a dick joke.
Stay on me, go wide shot. Come and make
Wide
sure you
shot.
get this. Yeah.
Strange obsession with crowd sizes. And then I'll bring my hands in, I'll look down, and then cue the laugh.
Hit the applause button. Yeah, you know, it's funny because people were saying he's obviously a great speaker. If he wasn't good looking, would he get this much attention? He is good looking.
Yes, yeah, he's very, very photogenic. I think it's a combo. He's just a rock star. I mean, he just has that down. I mean, even in 2004, he's waiting in the wings. He's going to speak at the Democratic National Convention. He was nobody. And somebody said to him, "Are you nervous?" He goes, "No, not really. I can play this game. I got this. So he knew he had a talent for public speaking. Now, Biden, on the other hand, it was a little bittersweet because it was his farewell.
He went on Monday at noon, right?
No, the thing is, they held him past prime time. He went on at like 11:30 in New York at the end of 50 years of public service. Let's put on another. The acrobat is going to do a thing. Jugglers will come out.
You got that Sam Kinison last spot.
My favorite line of him, and he's done it before, is like, Trump. He said our troops are suckers and losers. And then he just goes really hard. He goes, but Trump, you're the loser. It was such schoolyard bullying. It's ironic. What you just said, you're the loser.
And then did he come out in his pajamas or he waited? He had to wait. Everyone's going along. That sucks. You're at a comedy club. Everyone's going along.
Yeah, I mean, he's 81 years old, and there's another one. As a matter of fact, they bumped James Taylor. It got so late that they go, look,
one guy you want to hear
James Taylor. And he just picked up his guitar and he said, "You have not got a friend," and walked out.
Boy, it's the perfect thing to say.
Can we get a rim shot? A bunch of suckers and losers with Donald Trump. And the MAGA Republic is a threat to democracy. And it was like 12:30, 1 a.m. And the people saying, but anyway,
democracy is a big catchphrase that I don't even know what it means anymore. When people say something so much, I don't know what it means anymore.
Everybody, both sides say the other side is a threat to democracy. So it's
and
like
everyone
saying
listening goes, "What's democracy?"
David Spade is a threat to comedy.
I am? No, I listen. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know why that face always gets me.
Anytime, because I hate when I watch this, I'm looking down because I have to see these dumb fucking squares. Because I look good because I'm on Uzumpic.
Oh, come on.
Stay close, folks.
Trying to get from 156 to 144.
I really am. I fattened up during grown-ups, which a couple people remember. Thank you. In
I remember you were a bit round.
I was a little rotund.
You were a little round, chubby cheeks.
I asked Chris Rock point blank if I was fatter, and he said, "Yeah." I go, "Did you notice?" I said, I actually gained 20 pounds in the last 5 years, and I didn't even know it. I said, "Did you notice?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're getting in a Val Kilmer area," which then was Val Kilmer on the beach with a fucking wetsuit with his big gut. And I go, "I'll fucking kill you, Rock."
It's called a scale. You just get on it once in a while. Keep track of stuff.
King. I know. I didn't get on it.
Here is
Okay, go ahead.
You put your head in the sand and you paid the price.
Yeah.
They found maggots, MAGGOTS, in the breakfast bar at the Democratic National Convention.
Oh.
They don't know how they got there, but that's the last thing you want when you're getting a cup of Special K. Apparently, Clinton went down there, Bill Clinton, and he went ballistic. Listen, excuse me, somebody, I've got maggots in my Special K, and I will not stand for that. I will not sit here. God damn it, get the maggots out of my goddamn cereal right now. I will fuck you up.
You know what they call them? They call them MAGA tits.
We got
MAGA.
now. I don't want to make any trouble, but we got megas. We got megas in us, and I do not like megas. And megas are a threat to my cereal and democracy.
I think
itself.
it was. They said the protesters that came in that are behind fucking. They said you have to take 8. You have to show 8 your ID 8 times to get in. So there's so many walls around that place. It is lock solid. So there's protesters on the outskirts of town at this point. And I think they're around throwing maggots like they're confetti and just to fuck everyone's game up. It's, you know.
Well, it's like there's lines and lines of protesters, and usually the one behind the protesters, it's more protesters protesting what they're protesting.
Yeah.
And then it goes back and back and back. And then 17 miles outside of Chicago, there's people protesting the state of Illinois. They wanted to rejoin Indiana. They're constitutionalists.
Was it part of Indiana? Look at how much I don't know. The more you don't know.
If you don't know, I don't know it either, but look at the confidence.
Oh, yeah, you do. You're like, I go, Dana knows. He's like, don't let me walk you through everything.
And then the roll call went on for 4 hours. That was the great state of Indiana. They always go, we nominate for president the next president of these here United States, Kamala HRWNYZ Kamala Harris.
I like when they go, we're the great state of Maine, and we're taking our 4 voters and giving them to you.
We are the Principality of the USA, the Guam. The Principality of Guam, we have 1/2 of a delegate. He's a dwarf from New Guinea. And we nominate...
We are the delegates of Gilligan's Island, and we'll give you the professor.
We are the delegates of Lollipop. Sorry, you had me going.
All right, anything else on the DNC?
DNC, really? Is that what you want? Is that what you do? Not really. just that JFK Jr. maybe is going to drop out today and go with Trump.
His VP said that, right? His running mate said that.
Yeah. And Trump commented, I didn't know which one he said. One of them, they're very nasty. They've been very nasty. And if you look at it, they're nasty. They say nasty things. They're not nice, nasty things. And you can look at it. They keep doing it. And there's one particular person that's very nasty, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. So I don't know who it was, but somebody.
Trump's on Theo's fucking podcast. I love Trump sitting there and Theo going, in 4th grade, my teacher was a raccoon. And he's like, that's good, Theo. Okay, Theo. Well, that sounds a little different, but sure. And he's like, yeah, so yeah.
I kind of feel like a tadpole is a tad too big. Right. What do you think of that?
I think you're nuts. I think you're crazy.
Do you think the Grinch was a real guy, like way back? Yeah. So I didn't hear yet, but I love Theo, and he gave me a shout out.
Of course, we love Theo.
Love Theo. All right, my hair, we're going to talk about later. I can't get this to show me from the side, and that's all I want. That's why I'm primping and preening like a peacock.
You got to just stay front and center. You don't need a side
would
angle.
Primp less, but the problem is I keep seeing myself, and I try to make it better, and it's just
this is Vanity City because, folks, the way we're doing this, I can look at David right now, and then I'm looking at a video of myself. So then you're like, damn, really? How's that possible? I won't say if that's a negative or positive comment. I go, really?
I start to space out. Then I go, oh, I'm watching a podcast with Dana Carvey and Nick Nolte.
I get so spaced out, I count the drawers in the back. I'm sorry.
I'm still doing some physical stuff. All right, let's look at the headline.
All I heard was Nick Nolte.
Yeah, I look like Nick Nolte, yeah. Obviously, I'm on the road. I'm doing this tour, Dana. You're out there. Mm-hmm. I took my new away bag. Let's take a look at it. Heather's here. Okay. I'm an international stupid star, as you know.
Yes, I've heard the rumor.
This is the black one. Here, twist a little bit. You're not being a good... Well, sideways, yeah. This is the one. So everyone has black, but, this one is great. Mm-hmm. You can tie a little thing around it. That's enough. But it's good because it's not completely rock solid. It's got... the
Totally.
It's got the soft side, right? And
Right.
these are the best ones in the world.
Mhm.
This is a game changer. And you can take it on the plane. So, like when you go out and you shove all your props and all the things from your act in
All
there.
my wigs and my Garth
wigs,
glasses.
props.
Yeah. Hans and Franz outfit.
And when people kept stopping me to sign a million things, most of them were like, what's that? Is that new? Is that an away luggage? And I have to go through the whole rigmarole with them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay, you can put it down. Heather's getting sore clavicle.
It's like Bob Barker. You've got
I know,
assistants
it is.
holding
Good
up
job.
away luggage.
You this is their best seller, is the black, best color, but they come in 4 sizes, 4 colors.
Guess what? I'm a rebel. Look at this.
What do you got?
It's kind of a whitish gray, soft side. Feel it, touch it, got to do it. So I love maneuvering. These things can maneuver through an airport like nobody's business.
Yeah, because my old one was like I was carrying bricks around, and these are a little lighter. You can kind of push them and just you don't think about it.
They
as
have
much.
4 wheels and they turn, and they're very. This packs a punch. You can fit a lot of stuff into this little guy here. This is like an R2D2 size.
It's tear resistant, water resistant, because those guys don't care.
And in your case, fan resistant. It's a shield. Get back.
Talent resistant. If you spill stuff on it, wipe it off. That's easy. If you cry and your tears hit it, that's fine.
Right.
It's like water. It thinks it's water, even though they're little baby tears.
And listen, soft side is actually made of high strength nylon. So it's durable and tear resistant as well as water resistant. That's a threesome right there.
It holds a lot. It stays upright. Check out the new soft side luggage from Away and head over to awaytravel.com/fly. That's us. Fly. Donald Trump reshares IA generated images falsely claiming Taylor Swift endorsement. I saw this. I think this is supposed to be funny. It's not. I don't think it's a good idea because A, people believe it at first glance. B, I don't know who Taylor Swift's voting for or if she talks about it. But are all these fake? I would think, okay, this Taylor Swift one in the middle as Uncle Sam is fake. But maybe they're Swifties for Trump. But if you make it AI, maybe I don't believe all of it.
They debunked every picture. They found the real pictures of everything.
Right. I'm saying it. So you either say, I'm sure some Taylor Swift fans are for Trump, but if you do this and then that's AI in the middle, then you don't believe it.
I'm calling all AI. All.
Yeah. I'm just saying the idea of it, I don't think is, in the grand scheme of these things, I would say I would stay away from that kind of stuff because AI makes people nervous anyway. And then if you start saying that.
If you reshare something, what is your responsibility to check that it's real? And how do you check that it's real?
Yeah.
But if
There's always someone debunking the debunker. So really, you just don't know anything.
Yeah.
I know everything, but some people don't know anything.
I don't mind. I like deplaning, but I don't like debunking.
Debunking is probably something you should take in college because there's so much of it going on.
If you were debunking while you were deplaning, what would you be called?
Yeah, I don't think you could do that. That's too much.
That's all. That's the only phrases in the human language you start with a D-E.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, Caitlin Clark rejects. See, again, $1 million to appear on The View. Come on.
They're not going to pay her $1 million.
I barely get $575 when you do a talk show.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not a fan of The View. I don't think anyone's offering anyone money to be on The View.
I'm thinking that she's pretty savvy. So I would say she would stay out of this. So I'm calling. Can we figure out if this is a real quote?
Never.
I'm not a fan.
Never.
Huh.
Let's just. I don't even know if that's Caitlin Clark.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't know.
That's Drac from Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, I think that's.
Don't
Clark,
laugh at that, Heather.
Clark Kent. How many times I'm going to say that's AI. This is our AI episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, tell us in YouTube comments because we don't know fucking one thing, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next one.
Dunkin' Donuts slogan says, America runs on Dunkin'.
I
Fake.
don't know what this is.
I think I know it now. Look at
What is this? Hold
My
on.
friends, this is a pumpkin swirl frozen coffee. Who the thought it was a good idea to put this on the menu? Because this drink has 185 grams of sugar in here. How much is it? It's
guy's
this much.
Dunkin'
It's
Donuts.
46
Oh, this is one
teaspoons
because
of
sometimes you can either
sugar.
feel
To
good
give you
story or
another
an
perspective,
informative story.
The amount of sugar
Yeah.
in
This
there
story
equal
is
to
how much sugar
14
is in a Dunkin'
glazed
Donuts iced
Plus,
coffee.
Okay.
there's
It's
no
500
pumpkin in here. It's
grams.
artificial flavors. There's 12
Is that how much, or is
mentions of
53?
sugar
I
and
can't see.
high fructose.
I try not to eat any sugar.
I worked with an editor once that had an iced coffee like that
Mhm.
every morning, and he was trying to lose weight. He goes, "This is all I have. This is all I'm having. All I'm having." And I go, "It's 1 billion calories. It's
Fuck,
like
I haven't had
just-
that much sugar since high school. One drink. Yeah,
yeah.
keep it. Go easy on the sugar. I've heard. Here's another thing you can debunk for me. Cancer can't live unless there's white sugar in your body. Is that a lie? That sounds like there's
Well,
some.
put it this way. I don't know
truth
if that
to it.
exact quote, but cancer loves sugar. So does heart disease. Sugar is kind of bad in high doses. You know, watch the
Well,
sugar.
Would you call 185 grams at once?
I only have a Coca-Cola every once in a while.
Oh, not cool. How much sugar? Go read it.
Oh man, I gotta shame myself. This is either my hands, I have Shaq hands, or this is a small.
I know. Easy. That's makes your dick look bigger. Good job.
It's the most important thing in life. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sugar, 25 grams. Yeah.
It's not too bad. You're skinny. By the way, I do these 5-hour energies now and then. And every time you turn on like a TikTok, it's like, do you know energy drinks make you tireder? I'm like, oh boy. No, actually, a lot of caffeine makes you sleep. I'm like, please, everyone, let's not ruin everything.
I once got pulled over for sleeping while driving. And I
Mhm.
said to the officer, I said, I took a 5-hour energy drink 5 hours and 10 minutes ago. And
Oh,
so
okay.
it wore off and I fell
Just
asleep.
knocked you out.
And he let me go.
You going unconscious?
They're working on a 6-hour energy drink. They've been
Mhm.
working on it for years.
Yeah.
They were 3-hour energy drinks for a couple decades. Then they got to
Yeah.
5 hours.
Well, if they could do it 8 hours, maybe I could go to work and stay awake the whole time.
How about a drink that makes you not cranky?
How about yeah? Okay, next one. Okay, here's one.
Okay,
I don't even know
here
what
we
this
go.
one is. Okay, ready?
We'll
Let's
see
see what
how the
this-
tech industry collectively responds to the fact that their threats are not working.
Dell fired everybody. 12,500 people now unemployed. The video reported that Dell wanted people to come back into the office and the employees refused and they won. Well, now they're unemployed. She's wondering how other companies, especially tech, will respond. They're responding already by firing remote workers. And the cuts have been increasing over the last year. 2023, over 80,000 cut. April 2024, almost 120,000 fired. Just 2 weeks into August, over 60,000 have been terminated. Corporations are already responding.
Oh,
if
this is
you're
about
fully
remote
remote,
work.
you're more likely to be cut.
So remote
And if employees
work
are remote,
is-
they'll just fire you by email, Teams, or Zoom. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Did employees really win by refusing to come back into the office? I guess so.
Oh, what a hot
If they were
button
looking
issue.
to get terminated, they got what they
Yeah,
wanted.
we're
Good
we're
luck.
sort of
Take care.
doing work by home right now, but so we can't comment.
Well, we have the capability of interviewing Steve Martin in London or something if we want.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the same, but on that first headline, he didn't say that they make AI pivot. Dell makes AI pivot. So AI, I know a guy who works with AI and it says that it does half of his job. You just talk to the AI and it writes a paper
Sure.
or about the, so
I
don't know.
think maybe what I was thinking is someone told me this that hires and fires at a company we know. And they were saying people come in and say, I'm willing to come in 1 day a week. And this boss was saying, the problem is don't make yourself so invaluable that they don't miss you. Like if they're saying, who would we cut first? That guy was saying, let's keep the people we have interactions with that work around us every day that we see And it's easier to take people you don't see, you don't have any relationship that are just like emails and just say, we'll lop them off first. It sounds like, but I don't know because I'm not in the workforce every day. Now, when we do a movie or something, you have to be there every day. So there's no getting out of it or a TV show. It's a different weird job. Fine. But I don't know if I think that's what he was saying. I was sort of shocked by the fact they are laying off, remote workers. I don't know if you could. I don't know what the legalities are.
Well, in the early days, I assume it goes on now. It's a little difficult. I know people employ a lot of people. And the people I know who work from home, they're so flexible. They can get all their work done in the morning if it's something that they can truncate, and then sometimes then they go to Cancun and they're Instagramming and then doing their work from 12 to 1, then hitting the beach. So I don't know. It's up to each employer to see if that person is productive enough to be employed. So,
right. I had one that I work with that would only email me after their day. So they do their whole day, get everything done, their whole day, their personal life, kids, whatever. And then from 6 to around 11 at night, you'd start getting the emails from the day to answer. So a lot of things are only open in the day and only effective in the day. So it doesn't always work.
And I do think that the pandemic kind of shifted people's mindset. A lot of young people, the idea of it's sort of European in a way that you work so that you can live. You don't live to work. I mean, we live to work because we are our job kind of. I don't know. I'm just hanging out with you right now. But I think people just question things, especially young people. What am I doing? And they're thinking for alternative lifestyles. Part of that's work from home or travel or, I don't know.
Yeah. It's obviously since COVID, it flipped the script.
Yeah. Everything.
Okay, next one. I'm going to take a bite.
Watching the big game or making big mods? Going on that first date or installing that first brake kit? Binging that new show or watching install videos?
When you're a real car lover, the choice is obvious. eBay Motors has you covered with over 122 million parts to fit your number one ride or die. Brake kits, turbochargers, LED headlights, exhaust kits, bumpers, roof racks, and engines. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has all the parts you need for the ride you love. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. And with the eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This phenomenon is just a gang of cicadas.
Oh, these cicadas pee.
You see, cicadas have an insatiable thirst for the liquid flowing through a plant's xylem system. To cobble together enough nutrients, each cicada must consume up to 300 times its body weight in xylem fluid.
Oh, I love xylem fluid.
Which means they have to pee a lot.
It does make you pee.
But cicadas don't just dribble droplets.
They don't dribble
form
droplets.
a jet of liquid, which is more energy efficient. Their relatively large
pee harder
body
than I
size
do.
allows them to expel jets without being overpowered by the liquid
Gross.
surface tension. It's like a mini water gun.
Turn down the volume.
And it's not just
The
about
house
staying
is-
cool.
We got enough.
The
We got enough of
houses
this
underneath
shit.
those trees, surprisingly, their prices held up, which shocked me. So a lot of real estate moves quickly. I don't know what it is about that being rained on by urinated on by some kind of weird insect
There
all
you go.
day long.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind when you leave your house and enter it, you're smothered and splashed in cicada pee.
Yeah. The real
That wouldn't
estate agent
bother
says,
me.
we have a very nice kitchen. We have bedrooms
Mhm.
upstairs. We have a raining insect urine that will come down in your head when you leave the place. But the owners are willing to negotiate.
Yeah.
We're willing
it's a
to
great
negotiate.
school district, but you've
Yeah.
you're drenched in cicada pee and it doesn't come out of your hair and it stinks.
Yes. It will, it's full disclosure. It's in the contract. Is it cicada or cicada? What is it? What the fuck?
Cicada, I think.
Cicada urine will soak you through.
Yes, to
We
the bone.
suggest you have a place before you go into your house. You strip down on the deck and you put it on cicada hangers where they also will then,
We have a mud room and then the cicadas, but the mud room's also filled with them and they pee on you again. Then they throw up on you.
Yes. Now, when this disclosure, when you open the washer in the morning to put clothes in to wash them, there will be cicada spray coming out of that because they do nest
Out of the
in there.
washer?
out of the washer into your face.
Okay.
We expect you get a dry cloth, you wipe it off, you take a shower, you strip down, you come back. Then you stay away from the opening to the washer and you throw your stuff in. This is just true disclosure.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
willing to negotiate. We want
Right.
20% down. Yeah.
And they don't like, I mean, cicadas make a lot of fucking noise too, but they're not allowed to say that anymore because it's offensive to them to say that you don't like their pee. So you have to go along with it.
Yeah, the cicadas, I know it's weird. It's never happened before, but they have technically unionized in terms of ownership of that tree and
It was a
the
matter of time.
Unloading of urine. So I wouldn't challenge them. They will go on strike. And then you're going to miss the cicada.
All right, next one. That was good. We really milked a lot of cicada pee out of that one.
We milked some cicada there, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, this is
Okay.
just what happens on Instagram that is, I guess, the realities. The stress of being a girl. That's what you can do. I didn't know you could just use little. I mean, I
Wow.
know people. I thought in a photo you could make yourself like curved, a little skinnier or bigger butt if you want, but I didn't know you can just take a video. It's so weird to me.
It's just like digital copies. If they can make a digital copy and make it look like you're in a porn film, they can do that. I'm not surprised, but I've been saying this for a long time.
Yes, whatever
You
it is.
are
yes.
your digital image. So if that young lady can look like that, or any way she looks, the only
It's
way
perception.
I integrate with her is on a digital screen. So if she then has
Yeah.
a new body, that is the reality. So I'm all for it. Everyone's going to look gorgeous. No one's going to be fat because of Ozempic. Everyone's going to look stunning because of filters and AIs. The whole world's going to be gorgeous. And the only rulers of this planet will be cicadas.
Right. And the only two
Callback.
people that look like shit are me and you until I get you on Ozempic.
Guess what? This is pre-filters. Wait till I get the filters.
Oh shit, look out. You think I'm a 6 now. Wait till I fucking gussy it up with the fucking deesh. All right, next one. We run a tight ship.
Here we go.
No idea what this is. What's this guy
Nope.
blabbing about?
During a brief 2-month period at the tail end of the summer of 1991, 7 albums were released that changed
this is
the
cool.
course of
In
rock
2-month
and roll
period.
history. August 12th, 1991, the Black Album from Metallica. August 27th, 1991,
10, yeah.
10 from Pearl Jam. September 17th, 1991, Use Your Illusions
Guns
1
N'
and
Roses.
2 from Guns N' Roses. September 24th, 1991, Nevermind
Fucking
by
shit.
Nirvana and Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Oh,
Red
and Hot Chili's.
Peppers.
Yeah.
And October 8th,
Sound-
1991, Bad
Holy
Motorfinger
fuck, dude, that's
from
during-
Soundgarden. It is absolutely incredible that all of these albums came out almost in succession. I was 13 years old at the time. It absolutely changed my life. It changed the course of rock history. And to this day, these albums stand the test of time.
That guy with his vinyl. Good on him. He had like 1 million records back there.
Yeah, but just picture that. So in 2 months, there you go. In 2 months,
Yeah.
those were like Mongo Monster top 100 of all time albums.
Kind of
And just
some
bam,
iconic,
bam, bam, bam.
iconic
Oh, yeah.
for rock in our generation. Absolutely. Mhm.
You know, it's funny because during SNL, we were around what I was around like 93, 94.
Mhm.
That's, I think, when we had Pearl Jam, we had Nirvana. We didn't get, and maybe the Peppers. We didn't get the
Mhm.
Soundgarden. What else did he say? Oh, we didn't get Guns N' Roses. You know, SNL used to have a thing where they wouldn't put some bands on. They wouldn't put NSYNC on, no matter how big they were during when I was there. They wouldn't put
Really?
Backstreet Boys. Even if people sold this many albums, they go, it's not us.
Oh, because we were rock and roll, basically.
Because those were nerdy. Yeah, they were considered something else. Now, anybody sells anything they're on. You know what I mean?
Remember when I hosted the VMAs, the one that you wrote on?
Yeah.
We had U2, we had Nirvana, we had
Mhm.
Guns N' Roses, Elton.
Fuck, that
Elton
was a
John.
big one. That was a big
Mhm.
one.
Don't be
And Nirvana,
jealous.
that I was there. We were underneath when Chris Novosek threw his guitar up
The
and it hit
bass
him in the
guitar
head.
and him in the
Yeah.
head. Yeah.
Mm. Oh boy, those were the fucking days, my friend. I thought they'd never end. All right, next one. Oh, good one. Let's see what other
All right.
bullshit we have. Okay, wait. I'm just saying, when girls complain about guys complain about girls. But this dude puts in the work. He's not the best looking frog or whatever he is.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody works harder to impress a potential partner than whatever this guy is. Let's see what
Okay. Exciting.
Harder to impress a potential partner than this pufferfish. He's in the middle of
Pufferfish.
spending an entire week crafting a delicate sand mural
Look at
on the
this,
ocean
Heather.
floor, just hoping that one female pufferfish will like it
One.
enough to give him a chance. He's a
Well, he's happy.
perfectionist, and the finished work of art will be
Wow.
a perfectly symmetrical geometric masterpiece over 20 times his size. He's also
So
something of an
hot.
engineer and has learned that plowing the finer grains of sand to the center will help protect it from the current, preventing the work of
Exactly.
art from being washed away immediately. But even so, the current will constantly erase or alter small parts of his work, so he can't
Doesn't
rest at
slow him
all,
down.
constantly tending to the piece to correct small errors as they happen. And as a
He's
final
fucking
touch,
wiped
when the
out.
main
Oh,
shape
look
is
at this.
complete, he'll add sand dollars and seashells around the outer edge as
Shut
finishing
up.
accent pieces. Soon enough, a female pufferfish looking for a mate will swim around as
Hey.
if browsing an underwater art gallery. And if she likes a particular work of sand art,
Men
she'll
have
hover
it
over the
rough.
center of it to communicate her approval. And she'll mate with the male artist in order to deposit her eggs. After she swims away, the artist will stay nearby, fiercely protecting the eggs until they
Oh, I
hatch.
thought he'd
The
trash
white-spotted
it.
pufferfish is the only species that crafts such highly ordered works of art. And until
Oh,
the
shit.
species was discovered in the early 2010s, the constantly reappearing sand circles were a mystery to divers and scientists.
Aliens.
But now we know
Yeah,
that
we
this
got it,
little
we got it.
pufferfish will
Yeah.
Fuck this dude. I'm already tired of him.
Wow.
But that's unreal, that dude. What? They say ants are hardworking. No one's talking about pufferfish. The grind.
Yeah.
It's a
Just,
grind. Just to
what
get
a rough
action.
life. And then he has to protect it. And then, I mean, that was, that pufferfish was 7 hours old and it started the circle at 5.5 hours and their average life expectancy is 8.2 hours. So it's a rough life.
Well,
I
he
read a
worked.
lot. I
He
read
got
a lot.
laid. But he gets
Mhm.
laid, and then he's like, I don't even care about this fucking thing anymore. Because it's so much upkeep. It's like living, worse than living near the beach. He's under the water.
And you know the real reason they call them the pufferfish? Because at the bottom of the ocean, there's nearby alcohol deposits, and that is an absolute alcoholic puffed up fish.
And it puffs his face up, or he slept on it.
I don't know.
I've been called a pufferfish because I wake up, it's so swollen. You know,
You wake up swollen every
in
day?
my face, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that later.
Doctors are baffled. Okay, next one.
Mhm. I like the alcoholic fish.
Yeah. Okay, here's Alicia Silverstone. She had a little situation. Here we go.
Discovered something that I can't figure out what it is, and I need your help. I just bit into it because I was on the street and we were discussing whether this was a tomato or not. It's definitely not, because look at these leaves.
So she randomly walks up to her
Those are the
neighbor,
leaves.
plucks.
So what the heck is this? Because when you open it up, it looks like that. And if I bite it,
Dumb. Who's biting someone else's?
I don't think you're supposed to eat
What
this.
the?
It's almost like a pepper. Does anyone know what this is?
It's a Jerusalem
I
cherry.
don't know what it is. I need someone to tell me. I'm in
So
England.
basically,
It's a
Thank you.
or, you know.
no, it's poisonous. So you're not supposed to eat it. So her comments got flooded with people going, "Go to the fucking hospital." Those are
Did the person who planted them and had them grow through the fence so people could pluck them know
I
they were
mean, I don't think
poisonous?
anyone thinks you're going to go eat them, but they said, yeah, you're supposed to not eat them and look at them. And then what did you say?
Then no one heard from her.
Oh, no one heard from her for 6. She didn't say
But-
anything. And everyone's like, are you okay?
Put up an old picture and said, "I'm okay. I didn't swallow."
She said, I'm okay. I didn't
Oh,
swallow.
funny.
There she is. So she didn't swallow it,
Hmm.
but it was more of a mystery when she was gone.
You know,
Because
I'm glad
16
she's
hours-
safe and she's lovely. I just remember I was doing a movie once and talked to some crew members and her name came up, Alicia
Yeah.
Silverstone. What's she like? He goes, she's got a funny habit of just picking anything and grinding on it, chewing
Yeah.
it up. And so that
It's a good
was
trait.
in the 90s. Yeah, she'll just
Yeah.
grab and boom.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and I hope she didn't get totally sick. But I am not good at just picking things up that look shiny and pretty and just shoving in my mouth, because That's how you get poisoned.
They
I don't
c-
eat
yeah.
mushrooms.
Mushrooms
If you're
are very
walking,
dangerous.
if you're in a mountain, would you eat a mushroom if you just found it?
No. Mm-mm.
No, not my
Unle-
Dana.
Unless I saw Rob Schneider sitting to it and saying, "It's psilocybin.
Take it.
Hi, Rob.
It's good for emphysema and inflation. I mean, not
Yeah.
inflation, but swallowing.
Well, it'll
Whatever.
do your tax returns. What?
No, give it a chance. All right, let's go to the next one. Don't be like that. Okay, I don't know what this is.
I got a client
hope these
request
are
to write
funny.
his name on a sock and wear it in a sauna for $400.
Oh, this is how people are making money. Forget OnlyFans. This is a new one I haven't seen. Write the guy's name.
Sealed for freshness.
Oh, and you have to sick. So, and I'm guessing OnlyFans. So this is what a guy wants. This is what we want, Dana. Guys.
To have a woman that we think's attractive, sign a sock with our name, put it on, go in a sauna, and then
Sweat it
send
out.
it to us for $400. Oh, put the
And-
perspiration on it,
And a
they
sickening Ziploc bag.
for $400.
Yeah. Nice work if you can get it.
Mm-hmm. Nice work if you can. Hey, get it.
Hey, there's Dana socks. How much? Go on YouTube. Tell us. He'll send you some filthy fucking socks.
$1 million. Mm-mm.
A million?
$1 million.
That's too much. That's too
I
much.
may only get
Start-
one or two offers. I admit it. If it's $1 million, I'll probably only get one or two offers, but it's worth
You
it.
have to write their name on it with a marker.
Look,
You
we
can do
see
that.
the pufferfish slaving. I mean, it's hard to be a man in this world or
Yeah,
a
it's
fish.
true. It's all tied
Look
in.
at-
The cicadas are pissing on everyone.
Poor.
All right,
poor lonely
let's go to the
guys.
next one. We're lonely, all of us guys. And now a word from our sponsors at Betterment. Do you want your money to be motivated? Do you want your money to rise and grind? Do you think your money should get up and work? Well, don't worry. Betterment is here to help. Betterment is the automated investing and savings app that makes your money hustle. Their automated technology is built to help maximize returns, meaning you can invest with Betterment.
Your money can auto adjust as you get closer to your goal. Rebalance if your portfolio gets too far out of line, and your dividends are automatically reinvested. That can increase the potential for compound returns. In other words, your money is working like a dog while you can be sleeping like one and snoring like one too. You'll never picture your money the same way again. Betterment, the automated investing and savings app that makes your money hustle.
Visit Betterment.com to get started. Investing involves risk. Performance is not guaranteed. All right, let's do one more. We're getting I got so much going on, Dana.
I know.
I'm turning down things right and left.
Mhm.
There's a new trend where I didn't know what to say about this. There's a new trend where women are putting a gap between their teeth. Not a permanent gap. Oh, a permanent gap. She looks like a beaver. She's like that's what you want. Look at the song TLC Unpretty. Is that what the song is?
would
That a real
they-
song? It's a funny comment.
Who's happy about that? I mean,
This
let's
is the
see.
world.
Famous gap tooth people. Arnold Schwarzenegger will go, yeah,
Letterman?
it's much more attractive. David Letterman. You know, Paul, it's great that everybody's doing this and that. Who else? The
Fuck,
guy
I
on
don't want
Good
one.
Morning America.
David Hartman.
From the 60s.
It's a first name.
See?
No, who else?
I had 4 teeth pulled in the 60s. That's why I have a tiny mouth.
My tooths were like this when I was in 3rd grade. I'm like, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I will tell you this. I didn't care. I just thought, these are my tooths, And I would smile in a picture like this. I didn't care. I just wanted my picture taken. And they were like this. And finally someone goes, what's wrong with your teeth? They look fucking so stupid. And I was like, huh? And then they go,
How old
wrangle
were
those
you?
in. So when I was in 5th grade, I roped them in with some barbed wire. It was basically braces, but they were so like out of control. And then I never smiled big again because they told me I looked bad. And from that day on, they dimmed my light.
Well, wait a minute.
Don't clip
Hold on
my
a second.
wings.
You roped in some barbed wire. You made homemade braces.
No, but
with
I
barbed
got
wire?
braces, but they really had to like, because they were just going every which way. And once I was made fun of, I went into a shell, Dana. I don't know if I've ever come out of it.
I've always wanted to. Anybody who needs dental, it's a handicap not to have straight teeth in life. It's definitely, no one. There are 5 kids in the family. I was the only one that got braces because my nickname was for a while was Bucky. What do you guys figuring to do? So they
Figuring
said
to do.
he's going to be called Bucky unless you do something. So at first, my parents didn't have money; they could only put them on the top. So the bottoms were all like crooked. And then the orthodontist said to me, "Can you just develop a habit of just pushing that tooth to push it back?" That was going to be for real. Just could you possibly just push that tooth back over time? But that didn't fly.
Bucky, are you listening to me?
I said, I don't think I could do that. But yeah, it would have been a very different life. But I did pay for the bottoms.
When the door closed, he goes, "Hey, Bucky, you know what a sucky?" And you go, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, "Nothing. What? Nothing." And you're like, and then you go, "Hey, have you seen my new cicada?" Spray the guy in the face with his pee.
I'm trying to do your face. Like,
it's so good. You got to go up to the camera, look right in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to sucky, fella, young fella?
Well, that's what you do. You go to the camera. I was going here.
Yeah, go to the camera, dude. That's the funniest. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the joke, and mine need help.
It does.
All right. So we could wrap on that, right? We did pretty good.
I think we did pretty good. We don't want to torture our audience.
No.
Smash that subscribe button and
smash the fuck out of it.
We'll make history.
Come see me on the road, David Spade. Where am I going first this weekend?
Where are you going, David? Where are you going?
Going to Seattle.
Seattle
going
next.
To Hartford, Connecticut. I'm going to Heather's looking at me. Indianapolis. Boise. Minneapolis, where I did my last special. It's great. So come check me out.
Great audiences there.
And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you next week. God save the Queen. God bless America. To all our troops overseas, God bless you. And to Joseph R. Biden for 50 years of service. Yeah, the service.
And then all the lights go off in the convention. Sir, sorry, it's over. Kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh.
We're witnessing history. Let's see how this whole thing plays out.
It's going to be interesting. Let me tell you what it is.
I'm not even trying to do Trump anymore.
Bye, guys.
All right. Peace out. Thanks for listening or watching. Goodbye.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Superfly is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, Heather Santoro, and Greg Holtzman. Hope you liked it. Ooh. Wow, guys. Today is a big one. This is, God, Dana and I were really pumped about Danny Aykroyd. He's one of the biggies that we just have talked about since the beginning. And even before I ever wanted to be on SNL, which was, I didn't really want to be on SNL almost until I got on SNL because I didn't think it was even a possibility. I dream low. My mom always told me, dream within reason. Dream about getting a new spare tire for your Volvo. So I was never thinking I was like a character guy for SNL. And the king of the character guys is Aykroyd. I mean, Phil Hartman is up there, but I have to say, it's very hard to compete with that first crew, Hall of Fame crew of SNL guys and Aykroyd. Loved. And with Belushi, and there was too many things to go over them, from the Blues Brothers to Coneheads we talked about. All that stuff, of course. We didn't even get to Julia Child, Bass-O-Matic, and Heather's favorite, Jane, you ignorant slut. I wanted to say that. on my phone machine. Who has a phone machine? Anyway, that's not the point. The point is he was lovely. He came into my pad. I showed him Farley's jacket from Tommy Boy that is on the wall. We did Tommy Boy together. We did Coneheads together. He was a stud. I interviewed him once for Spin magazine when I was on SNL. He was very generous and let me do that. And he is a character. And he was doing some impressions and goofing around. And there isn't enough time to talk to Dan Aykroyd. There's just too much. And what a stud. And he's got his vodka. And we talked about that. And it's all. And we had a few knocks. I did, definitely, with him. Put a little Diet Coke in it to ruin it. And it was just a blast. So without further ado, here's Danny Aykroyd. And we had such a fun time with this dude. I saw Chris 2 days ago, and he said to stay at the chateau.
Yeah.
Love Chris. He must love you.
He came over and gave me a hug. And
yeah.
I said I was seeing you guys, and he was, yeah.
He should have been more excited about you seeing us, but that's okay.
It's great when you meet someone who hasn't become a superstar yet.
Chris?
Yeah, and if you treat them normal, they never forget it. If you're just reasonably respectful.
He's pretty much of a superstar, though.
Oh, yeah.
And just, boy, from what I can gather, hasn't changed a bit.
This looks like a congressional inquiry.
are.
Let me answer some questions.
We're sitting on a table like a scene from Oppenheimer.
The podcast is actually called The Hot Seat. It's a surprise.
Okay,
and we welcome Dan Aykroyd to the hot seat.
Yeah. Heather, help him with that. You know how to do that? Okay?
I'll do the side thing.
And will you bring him? Is that Crystal Head vodka? Is that the one? Do you have plain?
Do you have any fresh squeezed orange juice in the house?
Heather, did you?
I assume so.
Do you have any?
Did you ever win an award?
Juice at all? Any cranberry or any?
You know what we might have is it's not
hibiscus?
juice. We might have lemon
7-Up
seltzer. Is that nothing?
No,
it's
you
not
don't have
really
a juice like a hibiscus or cranberry or a
hibiscus.
Yeah, that's all right. Put some ice in there.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
No. Don't worry about that. No.
Oh,
But
no.
it's just if you to sample it pops it better if it's cold.
Oh, if it's cold, I'll put some ice in there.
Yeah,
Heather,
put
put
some
some
ice in there.
I'll try
I'm
some.
gonna have
Or if you guys
So and please let me know. So I don't let me know when we're rolling, so that I'll do all the politically incorrect stuff now.
We're always
We don't have to
rolling,
use it, but we're rolling.
But you always have editing capability.
Yeah, you can
We
always
will
tell.
send you the raw
so
tape.
the conversation begins then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, what you're doing there is you're pouring the
Dan Aykroyd.
the
Oh, yes.
mash. Okay, go ahead. Let's
Have
start.
you won awards for this vodka?
You want to start? Do you do a formal introduction, or do we just?
No.
Well, we do have Dan Aykroyd, who's
I start
love
everyone as Joe Biden.
I
Get
love-
your facts straight, Jack. That's it.
Yeah. And then there was the other president you did so well and so beautifully.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. You know, that the way that eventually, and it came. It was a slur. You know, it's a there's a Washington. It became not going to do it. Became not going to do it. And in Washington now, there's a slur that is commonly used, commonly for a word that is frequently employed in the trade. Senator. It's senator.
Yeah.
Senator becomes
Yeah.
sir.
Oh.
Sir. It's Sewell. Sewell. Remember Sewell?
Yeah.
Catan. How genius was that guy? Sewell. Do you remember Sewell? No, Chris Catan.
Chris
He did
Kattan,
he did Sewell because I'm talking to you now. I'm going to tell you.
Right.
You know, Sewell, the slur.
Yeah. There's people slur all the time.
Yeah.
Biden
So
kind
people
of
slur- well,
slurs.
a little bit now. I think a little bit.
bit.
Yeah.
Can I do a 6 degrees of separate? Well, I don't
Please.
think that's the term. I'm in college. You're doing Jimmy Carter on Saturday Night Live. I'm recording it with a cassette and trying to steal, playing at the little teeny club, steal your Jimmy Carter, and was in awe of it. And then
To use where? What were you going?
in clubs, I was just trying to do what you guys did. You guys were like, to me, like badass rebel pirates.
Yeah.
I think of Bill Murray and you. Jim.
That's so accurate an analysis of us. It really is.
Well, I think. Well, we were little. Look at us. We're like little. We're tiny people. But you guys were kind of strapping, all over 6 feet. You would punch a guy or make him laugh.
Yeah, but. And so you do you'd copy the Jimmy Carter. Well, Jimmy Carter, you know, he had that the eye contact and a very soft way of approaching things, and he ended up being, you know, one of the great post presidents and really a giant figure.
You know what's interesting about him? Because I became fascinated by him because he's constantly referred to. So I read this book about him. Could not understand the idea of deficit spending. He was like, I don't understand how we take in this much money and we're going to give out that much money. It makes no sense to me. But my Jimmy Carter I do now, I still do all the presidents, is that he had a nervous breakdown, put peanut butter on his head, wander around the White House. Sir, are you okay? You got peanut butter on your head. No, I don't. I'm a peanut butter man. I got peanut butter hair, peanut butter suit, peanut butter tie, peanut butter shoes. I'm a peanut butter. I'm doing you. But here's the thing that got me crazy is when you were visiting SNL and then you praised my George Bush Sr. impression. So it was like 10 years later. So that just, you know, these things are...
Carter was unbelievable. You know, he was a nuclear physicist and an engineer in the Navy, and he helped set up Canada's reactor program. There was a
captain of a nuclear submarine.
He troubleshooted. Went up to Ottawa, my hometown there, and troubleshooted a reactor problem they had at one point.
Jeez. In what year? Before president or after?
When he was, you know,
like just some president walks in. Let me take a look at that.
60s.
I'll get back to the economy. I'm going to do this reactor for the Ottawans.
But the deficit spending. You know, look. We live in a country that is a fiat currency. Well, Canada as well. Say, you know, fiat currency is all you do is you just print more money if you need it. And so, you know, spending, you got to spend the money. People need it. You got to spend it.
We're doing that,
and we're doing it. Yeah, we've almost got
Don't let it sit on the shelf.
No, it shouldn't. A third world debt load right now.
Right,
but because we can print more. Why not spread it around?
It's a never-ending thing. Modern monetary theory. Now we're getting close to $1 trillion in interest on that.
Oh, I know.
A little bit of this?
It's really bad.
Pouring cans of Crystal Head vodka.
A little bit of that.
I poured some for myself.
Now,
Would
you'll
you
notice
mind,
our notes
I'm-
sweet. Thank you. Sweet, vanilla, dry, and crisp. Made in Canada. No additives.
Can I ask you
no
a question
sugar.
about this? Because
we don't have to talk about the vodka. We can talk about
No, I want to talk.
We'll hop around.
This is going to integrate into you as a performer. You were one of the first celebrities that made a.
I do like
sweet.
For like first time he tasted.
Dan's drinking his own vodka. There's a constant in the back. Now I'll do it.
David has this other vodka. I won't mention the name sometimes.
I'm always looking for a vodka.
Yeah.
So Crystal Head.
Let's-
And I knew about this.
Okay, we have here.
Now I have
David
it.
Spade is going to take a little
Am I
sip.
smelling the notes first?
Didn't you love Johnny?
Is that weird?
So he's going to have.
You
Last
did a
night he had 2 slippery monkeys at the Hook and Crook.
Yeah. What a great Carson you always
Oh,
did.
I
Yeah.
love Johnny.
Yeah. When he died, when the joke would die, that was the funniest, the way his reactions were. You know, just,
the deconstructing
That's
of
good,
the
Danny.
show.
dry, crisp.
You
little
did it
heat
right.
off the finish. It's clean. It's you'll the sweetness from our corn there. Yeah.
And I'm a vodka guy.
Well, the thing I wanted to-
David, most of the other vodkas, I don't name names, but they
No.
put limonene, sugar, and they put citrus oil, they put glycol and sugar.
them.
You don't need that.
No.
Don't need that. You know, if you're a bartender, you're making things where you add all kinds of additives in there, Saint Germain, Franc, all kind of Fernet Branc, all that stuff.
Dictionary.
Dan, are you?
So you don't need, if you're a bar chef, you don't need.
Well, are you,
anything with
I don't know
additives
the
in it.
story. How did this originate? I'm sorry. I just want to know how
I just wanted a cleaner vodka, really. And
What year was this? Because this has been around.
We've been in a decade and a half into this.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, there have been many vodkas come and gone.
and gone.
Right.
Many come and gone.
And
It's
all
a
the
tough
celebrities
game.
are doing tequila now.
Well, many. There. You know what? There's 200
sick
celebrity spirits brands.
Too many.
200 celebrities. I didn't even know there was 200 celebrities. I got to get going on this.
Yeah.
But weren't you an early adopter? It seems like
Sammy Hagar did his tequila, and then
Yeah.
I just began to research vodka and saw that that they were kind of polluting it a bit. And
Yeah.
so Johnny Alexander and I
No
came up
names.
with the idea for the skull. Remember him? You know Johnny?
Mm-mm.
Johnny Alexander, the artist. Yeah.
No,
well,
I
the
don't.
skull is revolutionary.
We
I
met.
mean,
We
it's
met
gorgeous.
when his girlfriend or my girlfriend dumped me for him. Rosie Schuster. I was going out with
Rosie
Oh, writer?
Schuster, who developed Church Lady with me.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote with
Yeah.
her
Oh no,
a lot.
a spectacular human being.
Yeah.
And
She was
and
awesome.
a beautiful woman from the
I didn't
time
know she was
born
Lauren's
today.
ex-wife for like a year.
Lauren's ex-wife. Yeah, well, I knew.
You
and
know
I,
after
I
that?
knew, and it didn't stop me. But
Oh boy.
he was very magnanimous. But anyway, Johnny, I got it back because not that I took her away from him. That was kind of over with Lauren and Rosie at the time. But I was with Rosie, and she fell in love with Johnny and dumped me.
Gave
for
you the
him.
Heisman.
And now we're friends. Yeah, now we're friends, Johnny and I. And as Rosie said to all three of us one night at Davis's memorial, she looked at Lauren, she looked at me, and she looked at Johnny. We were all sitting there like crows on a wire at Davis, and she said, "Well, at least you have each other." Oh, we love Rosie.
Ah, goddamn.
So today we have the vodka company, Johnny and I. We're having a ball
It's
with
great.
it. It's really fun. If you can drink moderately and respectfully, it's a good thing.
Now, Danny, are you saying some of these like? There's a lot of celebrities. I drink Urkel's tequila, which is probably the best one.
Urkel's?
I'm kidding. I don't know.
He had
No, it
one?
sounded
No, I don't know.
real.
He probably does.
Sounded real.
It's probably in the works.
I've got Felix the cat.
No,
What
you
would
know,
that be?
It's a lager beer.
Yeah,
Felix the
Felix
cat.
the cat.
You remember Felix the cat?
Yes. Oh, of course.
Does he
The
remember?
bag.
Do you remember?
Elwood Blues is partly based
Oh,
on.
he's partly Felix the
He's
Cat.
partly
Oh.
based on Felix the Cat, the briefcase that has everything in it.
Oh my
I
goodness!
love Felix. That's got to be brought back. That is a beautiful, beautiful character.
That was one of my first
Oh, yeah.
animated memories.
Oh yeah, yeah. No.
58, 59.
No, Felix is great.
Felix the cat.
He's one of the Blues Brothers, Felix.
Yeah,
I mean, my
Felix.
God.
She's black and white. Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
We're
That's
on a
it.
mission
yeah.
from God.
Yeah.
Now listen,
Yeah.
Dan, now when you do this, you're saying the other vodkas, they have some of those things you're saying that are in it. I didn't know all the words, but they might make for a hangover.
The glycol certainly would.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have too many things in it, it's not great.
Yeah.
For that
No,
reason.
no. Of course, now you get to 8 shots of this, even without the pollutants in there. You're gonna. It is ethyl alcohol, so you got to be kind of.
One of our new
calm about that.
sponsors, I guess, is trying to mitigate that problem.
Oh, we have one of ours that says it
That
helps
you take
hangovers.
this,
But you
thing
know
and
what?
Oh,
This-
it doesn't have hangovers.
It mitigates them.
It's not vodka.
Less.
It's saying it helps you with a hangover. It's not a vodka.
Yeah.
Well, try it.
Yeah, try
See.
it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Now,
So,
by the way, the
sensational.
House of Blues, Dan, you don't know
Sad.
this. You were part of the House of Blues,
Mhm.
and it was across the street.
It's so sad it's gone.
They dug up the coolest place in the world, and now it's some dumpy hotel that nobody cares
Well,
about.
Live Nation bought House of Blues in 200007, and
How much did they pay for it?
they paid
Yeah,
several hundred million,
Okay.
basically to save the
God
company
damn.
because it had many challenges, and they came in and saved the company because
Okay.
the .com bomb, 2008, all kinds of things, 9/11, all kinds of things fought against House of Blues survival, and Live Nation came in and saved the company in 2,500 jobs, and then across the street here, the leaseholder basically wanted the building back, and so they just paid Live Nation, a sum to say we want to build our own thing here, and Live Nation looked at it economically and said, we'd have to run a restaurant here for the next 50 years to make the money that was offered. So I understood the decision, but it's too bad. They took out our beautiful bar with the
gorgeous.
steel,
Yeah. Oh,
curved
yeah.
steel, and that was my office. I mean, I hung.
I saw the Go-Go's there. I saw so many
Oh,
bands.
so many
It's such
great
a hot
bands.
little
Yeah,
spot. There's
yeah.
one in Vegas.
There's a cool one in Anaheim,
They're-
Vegas.
they're still
San
out
Diego.
there?
Yes,
Still out there?
yeah. There's 11 of them, and they are they're rocking. The one in Chicago is just great. Yeah,
It's a
all
great
of them are fun.
brand. So another business thing you got into, I mean, it seems to me, just listening to you, it's a super creative expression of yourself. Because the first time I met you and you sat us all, you were visiting SNL. It was me and Phil and John my first season. We were at a restaurant. First thing you said was, "Don't be in a hurry to leave the show." And the second one was just about business and pay attention.
Well, it's show business, right?
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
was, I remembered that to this
It's
day.
always great to have great
Yeah.
advisors, and I've any work that I've done that I'm proud of, it's because I've been with wonderful collaborators. Any success I've had, it's consulting people who are smarter than me in many areas, and just the fun of working with just great people. all the way through. Eddie, Murphy and Murray and all of them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then and Lovitz, of course, we just think of him as as far as I'm concerned, he's worth the price of admission to SNL generally, is Lovitz. Just that Lovitz was there,
Why do you say that?
So funny.
I don't know where he got that
he
character
is spectacular. I did this thing, it's going to be out in the next year. The World in Six Glasses. It's a documentary talking about all the fluids that have influenced mankind over time. And I had him on there. He came on, and boy, that was one of the most fun. Yeah. Huh?
I'll do it.
Yeah.
He's so fucking
Oh, no.
hilarious.
He's
Lovitz is always a lot. You put him in The Wedding Singer, he's funny.
Yeah.
I've had him in movies. He's great.
No, he is.
Jealous?
Yeah.
That's his big one.
By the way,
hey, I like your glasses. Jealous?
Yeah.
You mentioned Trading Places, and I mean, there's too many things to ask Dan Aykroyd about.
I know.
There's not much to ask other than to fawn over things, but Trading Places was one of those movies that just hit us hard, and it was an R-rated movie, and it was so fucking funny. And then you just I don't want to say did you know it going in, but you get to work with Eddie, and did you know him well at all, or was it a gamble to put Eddie in?
Nobody. Well, I think
he did the Walter Hill movie.
He did the Walter Hill movie, and then Paramount said, yeah, he'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow that pairing came together. I didn't know him before we started. Of course, it was spectacular to see that talent grow and what he did in that film. And when I read the script, it was so intelligently written. And I thought, that this would be a great thing to play and have fun on, because it was certainly different from, anything I'd done before. And then Landis directing it, because we made a couple of things together. So it was, all the cylinders were clicking.
Was it kind of like a 30s screwball comedy in that sense?
It wasn't,
because it was so fun and easy to watch.
It was written by a pair of writers, Weingrod and Harris, and they wrote it and corresponded, I heard, by fax machine to write it. And I believe they did one other film, but that was certainly their most famous and well-known one, and so well done and, well directed with great actors in it. Yeah, that's a AAA. I'm proud of that one. Jamie Lee was spectacular.
Jamie Lee was
so, she's a force of nature.
Everything was working, and you eating the salmon out of your beard. I mean, I don't know if it's an ad lib or what, but those are the texture things in movies where they stick with you forever.
I think that was, I have a beard on, I see the salmon, I'm going for it. Yeah, there's you come into the set, you're looking around, stuff you can use all the time. We're desperate. How do I fill it with business? So I have this the beard, and I love, there's a salmon, like, oh yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if it was scripted or not, but I kind of remember it being spontaneous. I'm going to pick it up.
Beer haired it.
I'm going to go for it.
But that's great, because you look at scenes and I almost forget that we did Tommy Boy, and same thing. You look at a day's shoot and you go, is there anything funny here? There's a clip on with Farley. We're like, in the night before, we're like, hey, can you guys give us a clip on just for one laugh so we can? Cause it's all about brake pads. It was hard to make it that everything funny. That reminds me of that. You get there, you see a salmon, you see a beard, you go, what if I chew the beard and
Landis was generous with that. Yeah.
Oh, no,
about just grabbing things.
Oh no,
so he was smart.
Oh no, he lets the performer go. And you mentioned Farley, of course, dearly beloved.
Of course, we love him.
Mr. Aykroyd.
Could he be more in love with Dan Aykroyd? It's unreal.
I don't think so.
Coneheads,
I think he was
Coneheads. Yeah. And he was in the Coneheads. He played the beautiful part.
Oh, he was good at Coneheads.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh yeah, when he would do stuff on the set and he'd move his head, and we're like, that's Aykroyd, that's Bill Murray, that's Belushi.
But the sweetest guy. Just a sweet man.
Just Zelensky. The name came back this year.
Big.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You were the first.
Such great stuff with his pants.
Yeah,
pulling his pants up.
And he was so respectful and polite and a church going, church goer, and that
we had a blast on. We had a blast on Tommy Boy. I remember one night when we were in I think you were showing us. Is that where Rob Lowe gets hitting the balls? I don't want to give the whole movie away, but when we're in we shot like 24 hours, and we had some factory in Toronto. We got to go up there, and we were getting tired.
Magna Auto Parts,
and you had there was the the air freshener joke, so many things, and then just to have you from the guy we love to be in the movie, and then the movie worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, so
that's
much
a good
fun.
picture. That's a really good picture.
It
The
is.
deer scene. I mean,
Oh God,
that happened to Franken and Davis. You know.
Oh, is that
deer came alive?
A car. It went through the windshield. Yeah. And, yeah.
I think that happens a lot, but
Yeah.
but I don't know how many times deer comes back alive. But
that was the other.
I think in their case it might have.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
Frank was like this.
Wow, we got a deer in the back of the car. Well, you've got to be here. We've got a show. Just we'll take care of the deer later.
Oh, I got to tell him.
Sorry,
we had Michael
snuck in a
McKeon
little
on.
more.
Remember Michael McKeon?
Of course.
And,
yes, of course.
Well,
I know his resume. It's like yours. It's like
he's
exhausting.
everything.
In a brilliant way.
And they're
It's like-
making Spinal Tap again. I hope.
Oh, I don't know. We didn't ask.
There's rumors of that.
We
I
don't,
hope.
we don't
I mean, I
ask
hope.
the good questions.
Yeah.
We just fawn. But we were talking about Coneheads. He was my partner in Coneheads. And I was telling Dana that we were the immigration guys.
Yeah.
Not kind of the bad guys or whatever, you know. And and it was peppered with, we didn't mention it, but I think Sandler was in the movie. Farley had a big part.
It was his first movie appearance, Sandler.
Oh, was it?
Before
Yeah.
Billy Madison.
He played. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sold
It was
the
Carmine or something.
he sold me the ID. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Fake ID.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had Ellen DeGeneres, Drew Carey, Sinbad.
I know. That's
Everyone,
right.
you were
Jeez.
peppered that place.
Yeah.
If you watch it, you go, whoa, hey, oh, look who that is.
It was a very good, serviceable family comedy, and it certainly endures today, no doubt about
Serviceable. I think that wasn't in the pitch.
it. They, well, you know, they
Studio's
they,
always looking for
yeah.
barely. No, I love Coneheads.
Yeah.
I told Dana and Michael that Michael didn't know this. So, you know.
It was supposed to come out at Halloween. They rushed it. If it had come
Oh, is
out
that
at-
what happened?
Yeah. Stanley Jaffe there at Paramount prodded Lauren to get it ready, and Lauren and I were thinking Halloween, but no, we need it now. So it would have done better at Halloween, but it didn't. All of these things have a life now.
Listen, they
yeah.
people wind up seeing them, and
Yeah.
And when you're smoking weed and watching Saturday Night Live in 1978, they come on and they're called the Coneheads, and their heads are like
Yeah.
Coneheads.
When I
That's
mean
the
when I
funniest
smoked
thing you've
weed
ever seen.
and wrote the thing, yeah,
They're the
No.
Coneheads,
Yeah.
and their heads look like.
yeah. No, that's good. That yeah.
I
I'm
didn't
sure
tell.
they'll
I
get a
don't
good
know if Danny
reaction.
remembers. I was telling them yesterday that right when you were probably narfling the Garthok at this point, but
Yeah.
we were narfling the Garthok. We
Yeah.
were Michael and I were in
Davis.
t-shirt and boxers to do a scene, and I was in my trailer, and I said to the AD, because I was so naive and so adorable and cherubic,
You
but I said,
were.
"Hey, don't tell anyone, and I can still work today. I do have chicken pox." And he goes, "You have chicken pox?" And I go, "Yeah, but it's here where my shirt is, and it's on my legs, and you can't see it." And I'm in a scene with you, and
Could have infested the whole.
oh yeah. And he goes, "Okay, hang on." And they go, "Shutting down the set." I'm like, "What's going on?" I didn't even connect it to me. And so they sent everyone home, and I don't even know if you're working that day, but I was like, "Oh my God." And then someone goes, "Oh, that's going to cost the studio. You're in trouble." Everything was terrifying me to get fired, but wound up being a blast. But that's remembering you have the chicken pox way late.
Yeah.
I know
And
you
I was
didn't
on
get it as a
Coneheads.
kid. That's so
No,
amazing
and
to
I
me.
was such a weak little puss of a kid. I got measles knocked me out for 3 weeks, which was abnormal.
when you were
much.
37. Or
No, that I got when I was a normal kid.
Okay.
But I was very frail. You can't tell this athlete that sits in front of you today.
No, that's right.
But-
Marathon runner.
Marathon runner. Dana's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
marathon runner.
That was such a fun picture, Coneheads, and then we had a great cast.
Yeah.
And it's I'm proud of that one. I like that one. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
and,
Do you? I mean, this is just fan type questions. Like when you look at,
You will be
you
spared.
take
when
a
I-
drag net. You
when I
take
over this
a.
planet, you will be spared.
You will be spared.
You will be spared. I will place both of you on the protected roles. Say no more of it. Goodbye.
Remember, I was behind Dave Thomas at the end. They brought me in for an extra
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
because there will be, and I go, it's
Yeah,
too bad.
that was so
I was just
good.
mocking everything he said. I just said whatever.
You were
I
perfect
I
on
turned
that.
and went with the Coneheads at the end.
So this you can order this on Amazon for like
Shit,
$3,
Coneheads.
right? For just people
Just to
listening
like
now.
drink when you see a
Were
celebrity.
there 2 Conehead movies or just one?
Just one. Hey, listen, I would do that character in a second. In fact, I have a story idea, but I'm too busy now. And no
You
one's
are
going to listen
busy.
to a story idea.
How do you sleep at night? Are
At
yours
Coneheads, no
your
one's going to want another Coneheads out there. Paramount Plus, no.
Paramount Plus?
Hulu
no.
is waiting. I
Yeah.
know the guy who runs Hulu.
Crystal Vodka, the movie.
I'm going to
There's a few
text him.
ideas.
Yeah, no, I was on the Hulu there. I did a little show called Zombie Town and R.S. Stein, you know, the Goosebumps author.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's on Hulu now. It's called Zombie Town. And it's like, okay, now, children of America, you're going to have to learn about zombies. This is an introductory movie about zombies for you. Gentle and soft and kind of funny and a little scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that you can step up to,
Totally.
World of Z. What's that? Z.
World War Z.
World War Z.
That was great.
I remember Lauren asked me when his kids were little, goes, I don't really understand Scooby-Doo. And I said, I don't really get why they love it. And it was, to your point, it was the first time when they're a certain age, it's a little scary. The mask comes off, there's a haunted person. So that was the rocket fuel for that.
Get them,
You step them up to The Exorcist.
That's right.
I saw it at 17. Still haven't unseen it. But I love Linda
17 is
Blair.
even too early.
Yeah.
Well, we went in.
I've never seen it.
You don't see it. It's.
I'm too scared.
I guess it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
I
mean,
believe in that shit. I'm a paranormal guy like that. Dan, you believe in UFOs?
I believe that they're.
I just
I know they're real.
Well, everyone believes in UFOs. It's just where are they coming from is
Yeah.
the only. But of course, there's.
I know they're real. You can be a skeptic and say, "Oh well."
I'm not a skeptic, but I do have a question for you.
Where they're coming from, all different species. There's probably dozens of them.
Do they come from the ocean?
There may be bases there, and go ahead.
Oh, I love it. No, the question is, look, I'm totally because whenever I'm thinking about supernatural stuff, and I always go, we're here. So the greatest supernatural thing is that we exist right now, talking here. How did we get here? What are we doing here? So I'm open-minded to all of it. What I was curious about the United States Air Force, that the sightings of the UFOs seem to be stuck in kind of a black and white, herky-jerky 1950s motif.
Yeah.
Can't they get more sophisticated cameras on these suckers so we can really...
Well, there's more footage coming out, and it is all governed now by the new office at the Pentagon that handles this, and that is called the All Domain, because they go in water. They fly through water at 1,000 miles an
Spade
hour.
said that.
So space, sky, water, all domain, anomalous, you don't know what it is, resolution, because they have to resolve. They've got military craft and equipment being exposed. So it's the all domain, anomalous, resolution office to figure out what they are. And so that's, we actually have a Pentagon department now that's working on that, or a branch that's working. And, all those sightings will be brought in by the military and brought in by civilians and analyzed there. So it's real.
They're there.
Again, your question, who, where are they coming from, why? I think a lot of them are just tourists.
I think it's not as scary a little bit because and I'm scared of them, even though I do.
Is it dimensional? Well,
you should. I think they would have done whatever they're going to done. They're already here. They've been here a million times. They can take us out if they want. That's why I feel a little easier.
They're not. I don't think they're a threat. However,
I will shoot one. No, I'm kidding.
If you talk to some of the aviators down near Marina Del Rey with the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's department, helicopters and such, they see them all the time. And they seem to be bugging them and flying around and like challenging them.
Do you feel in a way, Dan, you were ahead of your time in a sense, because now it's going more mainstream?
Yes, you were.
With the Pentagon, and it's more acknowledged. You've been talking about it for a while.
I've seen 4 of them. And my mother,
we've seen 2 here unidentified cops.
Yeah.
So
and my mother
Stella,
saw one. See, that was why I got interested in it. My mother saw one in 1947, and she worked in the aircraft production ministry in World War II in Ottawa during the war in aircraft production for the fuselages on the Hurricane. So she knew aircraft, and she said in 1947 she saw one on the Spark Street there in
Holy
Ottawa.
shit, they're going to Ottawa now?
Yeah.
Back then?
They worked, yeah.
They kind of buzz by and go, not much
Yeah, I don't think they want a formal relationship with us, but they will take advantage of us using their superior technology.
Well, do you have any sense of being connected to 2001: A Space Odyssey? Just the idea that we were seated here by an alien race still seems a fascinating.
Yeah, one of the favorite movies of a lot of people at NASA is the movie that was made, Mission to Mars, with had the face on Mars in it, and
that
the theory
was with Gary
was
Sinise.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Mission to Mars. It wasn't the one with
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. That
No,
was
no,
later.
no.
It was
the
the one with
Martian.
Gary
Yeah,
Sinise.
this postulated that we were seated here, and there was some help.
Right.
Was there
From
was some
Mars.
help.
Yeah.
And so a lot of NASA personnel see that as a kind of a viable concept, from what I've what I understand. What I've been
Well,
told.
of course, and everything's on the table
Yeah,
unless
it is,
someone
yeah.
has all this figured out.
Have you seen any aliens? Because they have pictures of them. They have.
Never seen.
But
a
you
being.
know they're out. You know that people have seen pictures.
Yeah, sure. No, all kinds
here's
of
how they
different
sound.
shapes.
And you know my poltergeist or whatever you call them experiences that are
Yeah.
I
You
don't know.
really went through that. Yeah, and it was
Well-
annoying to you your experiences. It wasn't something you enjoyed, right? It was.
What?
Well, the one that was there's many of them, but in this
yeah.
house we have up in Northern California, it was built in 1912. There's 3 bedrooms upstairs. My son was in one bedroom. He was the older brother. And over time, he had a lot of waking dream states or nightmares. And he
Mhm.
moved into his brother's room just organically, the younger brother.
Mhm.
And so one night, and I didn't know what white noise was at this point,
Ugh.
believe it or not. He just had not, it was the
Terrifying.
90s or whatever. So he had a boombox in the bedroom he'd left. So I wake up to this like a FM radio between
Crap.
channels, right?
Yeah.
I'm going, why is everyone sleeping?
Wow.
So I walk around, and by the time I get in the room, I don't hear it. But it was not a waking dream state. It wasn't like a nightmare. It was just like, what the heck? And so that room, I also had some, when I slept in there once because company's over, I had an experience there. But I've become less afraid of it because if it starts to happen, I just sort of go with it now.
Yeah,
You know?
well, it happens to millions of people. Hans Holzer, Holzer, he was the great Ghostbuster, and he has a great number of books upon, dealing
Mhm.
with all of the things that he dealt with in his
Yeah.
career.
Is that how Ghostbusters started? Is you just got into all that?
Well, my family was into it. My great-grandfather was a spiritualist researcher, and all around the house, in the cottage there that we had in the summers, which was the summer house where he lived, it was full of journals and books and his writings. And so I was sitting there flipping through a journal from the American Society for Psychical Research, and it was an article on quantum physics and parapsychology, and I just went, okay, parapsychology, quantum physics, the real terms, the real vernacular, the real research that's being done, marry that to an old-style comedy like Abbott and Costello, Bowery Boys,
Yeah.
Bob Hope, and
Bing
Bing
Crosby.
Bing Crosby, who did ghost movies.
Yeah.
In fact, Hold That Ghost, I think, is a movie with Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, and it's the first use of the term Ghostbusters. Somebody asks Dean Martin, "Who are you guys?" "We're Ghostbusters," he says.
Oh, they
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
wow,
is
I
it
didn't know.
And by the way, just
Ghostbusters.
as an aside,
We're Ghostbusters. I want to tell you.
he
what-
says, yeah.
Sorry.
So that was the first use of the term, and there was a great tradition of ghost movies in Hollywood. I thought, let's marry the real vernacular, the real science, the real fact that people are seriously into this research with an old style comedy. Now, as an aside, that movie Hold That Ghost with Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis does a walk down the stairs in the old castle set that it defies physics. The way he comes down those stairs and doesn't kill himself is amazing. He was a
Was he trying to
spectacular.
be?
Hey?
Was he trying to be?
No, he was just coming down the stairs.
Oh, just
as
being
like
okay.
clumsily coming down the stairs.
Not possessed or something.
He is.
No, just clumsily
No, he's
walking down
not.
the stairs, and I don't know how he didn't kill himself. He was a masterful physical comedian.
Did you-
Absolutely masterful.
Yeah.
To your point-
You hung with him. You must have known
Jerry Lewis?
Yeah.
Not really.
No,
I met the
Really?
woman who played the ingenue
I'm
in
Urkel's friend.
Cinderfella.
Oh, yeah.
The Cinder fell.
And then I went and looked at a scene on YouTube of Jerry Lewis. There's a centerpiece where he's dancing around with the stairs. To your point, the physical comedy is breathtaking.
Yeah.
And it
No.
went on and on. He was directing it.
No.
You must have met him.
I did. I talked to him on the
Dean and
phone.
I.
Schaefer hooked him up
Oh,
on
you-
the phone with me one day. And
Hello.
Jerry and I said, Jerry, can you give me a ngang? Give me a ngang. And he on the phone, I'll never forget, over the phone, I heard, it all comes from the Jewish Yiddish theater of the Lower East Side, the Catskills, all of that humor, the nyang, the shoulder
Yeah.
take, the spit take. The fork drop. Have you ever? The fork drop's wonderful. You're sitting at dinner. Somebody says something and bink.
Yeah.
The fork. That's all comedy from the Yiddish Lower East Side. Do you know that there's a wonderful expression for your show in Yiddish? The fly in the wall. And it goes, it's the flieg auf der Wand. That's how you say fly on the wall in Yiddish. Fliege auf der Wand.
Let's get this so we have this for our promos.
Yeah.
That sounds like he's making.
It's poetic.
So that the ngang, he gave me a ngang, and all of that comes from that rich tradition.
Did you have other like heroes? Like, did Cary Grant ever reach out to you, or other super in the 70s when you guys were exploding? Because
Tim Leary and Davis were
Timothy
good friends.
Leary?
Yeah, Timothy Leary and Davis were great. And I bought
Tom
him.
Davis, yeah.
I bought him,
LSD.
and on our friends, I bought the last steak dinner that he ate before he died at the Marmont over there at the
And
restaurant.
what'd you put in it?
Really?
It was already taken care of.
And now everybody's doing it for mental health reasons.
And Timothy Leary. I met Jimmy Hoffa because I
Whatever
was
happened to him?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Giant Stadium. That's the last I heard.
That was yeah. Well, you saw that movie with
What's
Al
that
Pacino in
noise?
that. Met him.
Heather's
Rattle
at that.
ice.
Lauren
Do you wanna
Bacall,
pick
I
that
worked
up?
with her. I worked
Just
with
take
Jim
that.
Garner and,
he's
Jack
a very-
Lemmon. I worked with
Oh.
Jack Lemmon in a movie called American President.
Oh,
And Lauren Bacall was in that. That
Pete
was
Siegel.
wonderful.
Was that Pete Siegel?
Yeah, Pete Siegel. Yeah. And work with the all great veterans like that.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh.
curious about.
Lauren
I
Bacall,
assume you
too.
intersected with them.
So neat, so neat. And
It's something special.
When you left SNL, was there? So Chevy came. We had Chevy on here. He was perfectly bananas the way we wanted.
It's amazing. Eh? Yeah.
He was.
yeah.
We're
He
so
was
mad we didn't
nonstop.
film it. It was so funny.
Yeah.
He was doing shtick and stuff.
No, his
Sticks
Nonstop.
and stones.
His work with his fingers. If you never saw any other part of him, the work with his hands. I remember he did something just like, he's there, he's got the fingers walking, and then all of a sudden, and it starts to, and it's just hilarious, the control.
Yeah.
Well, we had this here, which is like 10 bottles on a tray.
And
He
it
just
ju- he-
waited, and at a given point, he just pinned them
They were
all
like
down.
bowling-
he,
like-
he reached for it, and it was just
like
like they were
bowling pins.
flying.
Yeah, perfectly.
But
Yeah.
he waited. He
Yeah.
knew. You could tell he knew
Oh,
early
no.
on. Yeah, that was his go-to.
No, I love Chevy. I
no,
love
we
him.
do too.
And you
love him
stayed
dearly.
straight through. Like he was the first year of SNL, and then you stayed. How long did you stay? 5 years?
4.
4 years?
Yeah, and the reason we left was purely and sorely because, we had to finish the Blues Brothers.
Oh,
We
really?
thought maybe it was a possibility we'd go back. We went to Chicago. Then the movie went sort of early summer, late
Oh, it kept
summer,
going?
autumn, and
But you were
then
shooting.
And we were shooting, and we had to go back to L.A. to shoot some of the stuff inside the church scene, the soul food restaurant. All of that had to be done in L.A. And we knew we couldn't go back, so I made the call to Lauren saying we weren't going to return. For John.
How
and
hard
I.
was that?
It was made a little easier because when Animal House was being done, they wanted me to play D-Day, and they wanted me to join Landis and Reitman and
Yeah, you'd be great.
and John in Oregon to do that movie. And I just looked, and John's gone, man. I just looked, and I thought, I can't leave Lauren here without a writer or an actor, So I told him, I said, I'm going to stay, and I stayed on then. So when we left for Blues Brothers, it was a little easier because I did stay on, and I didn't leave for Animal House. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy,
shit.
that was
And there's
such
some analyst somewhere, some pundit or something said, "Oh, Lauren forced me to stay," or was it, you forced the contract? Lauren is not a dictator, slave
not like
driver.
that.
You want to go, you go. He's not like that.
No.
He encouraged us.
He
in the
wouldn't
end,
want to look thirsty like that. He would say,
He
hey,
would
if you gotta
say,
go.
we'd love to have you, but
Yeah.
if you need to go, that would be his
gracious
thing.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
He fell in love with his cast members.
He
I think
did.
He
He
said
did.
to this day, he loves
He
comedians.
did. My boys and my girls, he calls them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, he
And-
loves it. He loves them.
When I came in '86, because he'd had that 5-year hiatus,
Mhm.
constantly references to you guys. And it was so intimidating to
Danny.
me And it was like, Danny did it, because
Billy.
I'd come up with an idea. Well, Danny did that season 2. And like,
No.
Chevy believes. But you guys are the originals. And so there is only
Billy, Chevy, Danny.
never the last name. Never said Dan Aykroyd. Never said Paul Simon. Never said Paul McCartney.
And look how the show's going now. So current, so relevant,
Always
and
works,
so
yeah.
extraordinary. Yeah.
When you did Blues Brothers, which is one of my all-time great ones, and I know you opened for Steve Martin at the Universal. I heard that's show of
why
the
there is a
century.
Blues Brothers, because John recorded the record from there.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
When you do, how do you get Carrie Fisher? Was she Star Wars or was she?
How did
was
they
it
get her
right
to be
around?
my girlfriend, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
She didn't
let's
do-
get into
'cause
the
she
Dan
didn't do a
Aykroyd
lot.
love line.
No, well, because
It wasn't the Barbie part for her.
she
you
was
know?
good friends with John and good friends with Penny Marshall and John, and
It was a whole.
she was Penny's buddy, and we just asked her to be a part of it, and she was a part of it, and then we fell in love, and we almost got married. We had blood tests and rings exchanged and everything, and I was ready to spend the rest of my life with Carrie, and after we wrapped the movie, we got into a Lear 24 with John and Judy, and we flew to Martha's Vineyard. And we flew to this house that Judy had bought me in the vineyard to be near John to plan future projects, right? And I said, Judy, just buy me a house. I don't care what it looks like. It was our first check from Atlantic Records, and she bought me a house and said, you're going to see your house tonight for the first time. And you're bringing Carrie home. So I brought Carrie home to this house I'd never seen. And it's night, and the fog is like down and low. And we go in and walk in, and they flip the lights on, and I could just tell that it was not to Carrie's design sense at all. It was a mid-50s, a lot of modern furniture, very, Eames chairs and stuff. And so that night was a difficult night. And then in the morning, I heard her talking to Paul Simon, her boyfriend at the time before. And I could hear her talking and hear, well, I'll be there and I'll be in New York tomorrow or today. And I thought, oh, she's leaving. So I said, Carrie, the view is supposed to be beautiful in this house. You should stay. No, I have to get back. I've got to go back to Paul. I've got to go. I'm going back down to, please take me to the airport. Nothing rancorous or very amicable. We thought we were getting married. So I drive her to the airport and get her on a plane, kiss her goodbye and say, I'll see you soon. We'll hang, I love you. I love you. And she flies off, and I drive in the Jeep back to the Martha's Vineyard house. And I'm kind of despondent, and I drive up to the house, and the fog has lifted, and I've got a 275-degree view of the ocean, the islands, and this beautiful, beautiful promontory that the house was on. I thought, she saw that. She might have stayed.
saw it
We would have been married today.
Yeah. It's like Manhattan socked in. Oh, it's the only time we went. Is it always foggy?
June,
No.
gotcha.
It's something.
And so, that missed. But we were good friends all the way right to the end of her life, of course.
And Blues Brothers, I think it's one of those where a lot of people want to be around funny people, and she's like, and she's a big star, but it's like, hey,
funny herself.
Yeah,
I mean, hilarious,
Yeah.
brilliant,
she's
brilliant
great
woman.
in that.
Yeah, she's great. We had a ball, of course, because we were making a movie and we were in love. You're making a movie with someone you love. You can go to work in the morning with
I
them.
can't
and go home at
imagine the
night.
rocket ship. I had my own little success there too, Wayne's World. Anyway, but you guys, I'm doing a David there. Blues Brothers, when I first saw that, I was like, this is so electric on every level.
So
like you're enjoying it, you and John, the dancing and the energy of it was like, well, this is something new.
So different. Yeah.
This is like really musical too. Like the band was kicking. And then you guys were just so funny with all the shtick. To me, again, fantasizing about being on Saturday Night Live. Just those characters. Don't get me started with Wild and Crazy Guys. Don't even start with that.
Come on, I don't think I can do that guy no more. No, you can't play around with accents anymore. You can't have it. And you can't even talk about the parts on a woman.
The parts.
And they love our American bulges, or what was that?
the bulges, yeah. Please, you will be shocked by my great bulge. You gotta watch it these days.
I mean, I was so influenced by you guys, rhythmically, musically.
What about you had Aretha Franklin?
She was.
You had Aretha, and I think that is one of the greatest
she
things.
was
That's the one you're talking about
astounding.
inside.
She
in the
looked so
diner.
cute in that waiter's outfit.
She's
she didn't want to wear the waitress's outfit. No, I can't. And then
she's
Deborah
great.
Nadoolman, Landis's wife, the designer, designed this beautiful waitress's
looked
outfit that
great.
made her look great.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a
It was even
sport, man.
funnier that she had that.
So supportive of us all the way through. She always was. And so was Ray and everybody. Yeah.
And John Candy.
Yeah. We had
another
Candy was
legend.
in it. Yeah. Yeah. And then we had Cropper and Dunn, who were Otis Redding's guitar players. So that made it happen. Now I still play with Jimmy, John's brother. We go out and we have an active concert schedule. We go out with a band that we got here from California and Texas that we put together over the years. And we got a couple of gigs
what's more fun than that?
The music,
nothing, right?
and
With the
I
music.
hear that guitar and hear that just the organ and moving. I've got 78% of the moves left, so
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Last week it was 80, but it declines.
Yeah, I'm in the low 40s.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not all clicking.
Or it is clicking.
God
That's the
damn.
problem.
So you're going along. There's Trading Places. There's Blues Brothers. There's all these stuff we get on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And then
so fun.
What's Dan gonna do now? And then I don't know what the trajectory was, but then Ghostbusters was like probably equivalent, inflation adjusted, almost like Gone with the Wind or something. It was like 300 million in 1984.
That's right.
So like
It was
300
300
million now
yeah.
or a billion.
Oh my God.
So what?
Titanic.
And you thought of it. The
But
cusp of it was you.
that day at the farmhouse where
And
where the seances took place, where my great grandfather had seances from the 1920s and that, and I was sitting there reading that journal, and I just thought, old style Abbott and Costello comedy with the real science, marry it up.
It's brilliant. But who's the first person you told?
Well, that would have been Bernie Brillstein, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, Bernie. And
I
then,
love it.
And then Ovitz. And then I turned a draft in to both of those guys. And then we went to Ivan, and Ivan got it, how it could be fixed and made what it was.
You wrote it fat, right?
Well, I not so much lengthwise, but it was a little darker. It wasn't the movie you saw, but it certainly had all of the stuff in there that became the movie. All the elements were there. And then Ivan looked at it, and then Ivan said, let's go to Harold. And Harold looked at it and understood what I was trying to do here with it. And then we decided, what do we do about cast? Well, and Harold and Ivan looked at each other and said, well, if we could get Murray, we will give it to Murray. I mean, and so he carried the ball for us.
He was the master of those lines, those throwaway lines, his style.
One of the probably the greatest comedy romantic lead of our generation, and maybe of many.
And him and Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Which is
beautiful.
So brilliant.
Beautiful.
Together.
It all came together.
It was just
nicely.
magic when a film works, any film. But when something like that's old and new, and then just connects so strong. I remember going to, it was like Jaws in a way. Huge lines, theater packed.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cult phenomenon.
How fun to have that hit. And because you could have screwed that movie up easily. I mean, it's a great idea, but everywhere along the line,
can go wrong.
Any movies you go in where it's good and you go, God, where did we go wrong? The editing, the casting, but to get it every step of the way and it comes out.
Well, look at who was on it, right? Harold,
great
Ivan. The
Rick
shooter,
Moranis had a great part.
He had a great
Love
part.
Rick Moranis.
No,
in that
Moranis was
movie,
wonderful. Wonderful.
I invite business
him and Sigourney
people, not
him and Sigourney are big parts of
Sigourney's
why that movie works.
Great.
Yeah. No.
Zool.
Yeah. No.
Well, and I was on IMDb today because I could not remember who Dan Aykroyd was. And so I looked him up. And even Ghostbusters, there's like 80 iterations. It's like a cartoon of this. There's so many.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a new one coming out.
There's a new animated cartoon that they're working on.
Okay,
right now.
but is there a movie or not? Isn't
I don't know what the
Jason
status is
Reitman?
with strikes and all that. They're telling me not
Strike's
over.
movies. Is it really?
Today.
Well, then in March, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire with McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Billy, myself, Ernie. And Patton Oswalt, thank you very much, and Paul Rudd.
Oh, shit.
And Carrie Coon, and
you've already got a cast.
We are ready to go in March with a spectacular new release, a great new story, and it is going to be hot and really fun, scary, a whole new generation handing it to the kids. Really excited. We completed it in England, and it's going to be coming out in March.
Oh, so you did do it.
It's done.
Oh,
it's done. It comes out in March. I just couldn't talk about it till this instant.
I read about this, and then I thought maybe something happened. We have a
Yeah, gave me that blank
we have a
stare. I'm like,
scoop
Ghostbusters.
right
You're like,
now on,
I go,
fly on the wall.
Am I
Attention,
wrong?
it's our first real scoop.
It is.
Too bad this comes out in 2 years.
I'm talking about it for the first time in any media right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Paul Rudd, you've got
Kelly,
and Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
Finn
Who is
from
Patton
Stranger
Oswalt,
Things.
How about
Hysterical.
that as a genius?
And a great comic actor.
Oh, yeah.
Serious actor, too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Great delivery.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Any name ghosts? We got the Tic Tac ghost from the Navy video.
What's the plot, Dan?
Oh, yeah, what's the plot?
Yeah.
Or can you tell us?
Leave us to say that, an entity is found in a psychometrically charged object.
Too much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all.
I figured the whole thing out.
Okay.
I love it. I'm excited.
No, it's good.
And it's
really
Jason
good.
Reitman?
I'm going to do a pre-order right now online.
Gil Keenan directed it, Jason's partner.
Oh, I love it.
Jason did second unit, and they co-wrote
Great
it together.
guy, Jason.
And, of course, the kids are wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
McKenna, Finn,
and you do, you're a guy.
I do, the enthusiastic, wants to believe everything,
Yeah.
kind of a little kind of resentful that things have passed him by, Ghostbuster in this one, because he's no longer licensed.
You always have that skill set of putting a lot of words together, really. Like
that is true.
Like as a comic concept, But that is that something you did as a kid?
My mother was French Canadian. My mother was French Canadian, and I grew up around French Canadians. And French Canadians, they speak very fast like that. Ils parlent vite comme ça, non. Viens ici là. Amène-moi ça. No. They talk a lot fast. Bring me that right now. Give me the salt. Give me the pepper. Give me the steak. Give me the potato. Give me everything. You want some wine? They talk like that. They're fast.
Yeah.
The French Canadians. So I had this always, and plus sitting around the table, there'd be 14 family members, and you couldn't get a word in unless you injected it in there.
So how did you go from like a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, and then were you on SNL at 21 or 22 or something?
Well, I was 23 the first
young.
year. Yeah.
So just quickly, I mean, for your
Second City at 21 and 22.
Wasn't your late
and
teen
Lorne
years,
Michaels
high
at
school?
19. I worked with him on a CBC special at 19.
And his show,
Heart and Lauren Terrific Hour.
You were on that.
It was on an offshoot of that. That's right.
So you were like 18 or 19. You're on television in Canada doing sketch comedy.
That's right. 19.
Okay, it's called a savant.
Yeah. Well, it was called
an early adopter.
It was being steeped in improv. My parents sent me at 12 years old to Ottawa Little Theatre improv class. And so I was already doing it sort of back then,
It came to you. It's like Larry Bird. He said when he first got a basketball in hands, he said the game came to me. So it just came to you.
It was.
And then you worked your ass off. Of course.
Well, I was encouraged to pursue it, and it was fun to do improv and that.
Yeah.
And then at Second City, I was learning all the techniques over again that I'd already known at 12 and 13 years old at the Little Theatre improv classes. Yeah. So started early,
It seems to me that in your part of this, we're talking to Michael McKean and, the Beatles and all the music of the 60s.
Yeah.
And then the trundling along with Peter Sellers. And then you all kind of knew each other from 70 or 75 or, it's very interesting because you were like the Beatles of comedy to me, the SNL cast.
Well, you had the Lampoon crew. You had, Chevy, and you had Chris Guest and Harry Shearer, and you had Johnny Belushi, and then you had the Gilda eventually because Belushi stole her away there from Second City. Then you had the Canadian crew, Levy, O'Hara,
Candy.
myself, Candy, Moranis, Thomas.
Yeah, that was
so there were two,
SCTV.
and the Venn diagram kind of crossed, and some of those people ended up working with each other on various things. But I think my the first time, getting interested in entertainment. Okay, I'm in grade 3. Now, what the hell? In grade 3, I'm like, I'm 5 years old, maybe 4,
no,
5.
8.
I'm grade 3. So I go.
You're 17. No.
I was young. I was 5 or 3 or 4 or 5, I guess, in grade 3 or something.
Yes. So what happened?
And so they were doing an Irish St. Patrick's Day concert, and they compelled me to learn McNamara's band. You know that song? Da 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 diddy. Oh, Hennessy, Tennessee, tootle the flute. The
There you
music was
go.
something grand.
Little
It's
Wayne.
never been something.
I know the melody.
So they put me in a green bowler and a green vest and a green pants and leprechaun shoes. Put me out on stage with a sync track, and I, you know, they made me learn it. They made me stay back from school to learn it, and so the concert comes, and we go. I go to the concert and I start singing, and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to get through this. God, I remember it vividly. Oh God, and I get to the end, and I finish and give the tap dance finish, and howling. The crowd. Whoa, really? You like that much? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, wow, that's good. And so I was the big applause, and they take me off stage into the wings. I give back my bowler, and I'm thinking, oh, man, that was very, very interesting. And then two of my friends, Ricky and Greg, come up, Rick Hollingsworth and Greg Chittivis, and they come up and they say, "Hey, yeah, that was nothing, man. They're like the bad donkeys in bad donkeys and over in in Pinocchio, you know, the bad.
Yeah, you're not so good. Don't get cocky.
You ain't so there. Yeah. Think that was good. You think that? Come here, come on with us. Let me show you something. Let me show you this. Let's show you this. They take me across the street to the funeral home, across the street from the church hall where I did the concert. So I go from the elation of singing McNamara's band and getting cheered to 2 minutes later walking into the funeral home where 7 bodies are laid out.
What?
A family that had drowned in a car the night before. 7, the father, the mother, the sisters,
God,
the brother.
These cockblockers don't want you to be famous.
I go there.
Jesus.
Look at this. And I walk in. I'll never forget that as long as I like. He'd rolled his car in the Gatineau River and drowned. And so they bring me from, you know, my performance. I go across the street, Euphoria, to whoa.
But are they jealous?
I didn't. Well, that was it's namby-pamby singing, and they look at these dead people. So they go over, and there were the 7 on a baby coffin too.
Jesus, great.
I didn't do any jigs for years and years afterwards. That turned me right off any kind of performance. That's a true story. Isn't that weird? Oh wow! And then
it's horrifying.
7 bodies, the family, and all beautifully preserved. Never forget the dark eyebrows of the mother and father.
I'm still processing this story.
The baby,
it's so killing. And then you're in the
exhilaration, and
at age 5, 6, 7.
They ruin it. They want to.
They ruined. Yeah, so I didn't dance or sing for years afterwards.
Weirdly, my first gig was in a funeral home, but that's a whole other story. David,
I played a dead body. In that scene. No, you went on SNL, so you get there. What's your first big sketch that works? Is it just the very first show, or
Bassomatic?
The first sketch that works was the one that Garrett and I did as home invasionists to prove to the homeowner that their house was vulnerable, and so we break into their home to prove it was vulnerable. Yeah, and then pitch them on an alarm system.
Is that first show?
That was the first sketch I was in. Yeah, first show. Yeah.
And that was the Wolverine one.
A cold opening was John the Wolverine with Michael O'Donoghue.
Oh, Michael!
And then we had the home invasion sketch. Yeah.
You were after the monologue.
After the monologue.
When was it? That's a good spot.
That's the home run spot. Who was the host of your first show?
George Carlin.
George Carlin. I waited on him once at a Holiday Inn.
I
brought him oatmeal. He goes, "Oatmeal, drop the O, and you have that meal."
Did he really?
Yeah.
Why is there no blue
Look at your
food?
shoes. Big shoes, little shoes, brown shoes, girl school shoes. He was
working on a
Don't
bit.
tell me about Richard Pryor, too. I was a waiter at the Holiday Inn. I waited on all.
Oh, because it was next to the Circle Star Theater?
Yep.
And
Waited on Rich Little. Everyone said,
Which
go to
Holiday Inn? On Highland?
No, this was on the peninsula. It was a theater in the round, be near
Michigan.
No, peninsula, south of San Francisco.
I saw. Yeah, I see. Right.
And they all stayed at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
So they were, I gave Richard Pryor, Denver Omelet, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I find the great people are really nice. The ones who are really great are nice, and the medium talent people aren't so nice.
I think that's true.
He was a great Richard, Pryor and Carlin. They were both. Yeah, and they would have been gracious to you.
Very nice. I did a movie with Pryor.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was very sensitive and sweet and
great.
Vulnerable. Yeah.
Did he host when you were there?
What's up?
Did he host?
Richard Pryor hosted. Sure, I remember helping to write that show.
All right, sir. Fair enough, sir.
Yeah.
What's that from?
That's right. Yeah, Tom. Yeah,
that's Tom Snyder.
I think I was doing Harry Shearer doing Tom Snyder. He did a great Tom Snyder.
Oh, really?
Outstanding. Tom, everybody.
I remember saying,
Yeah,
I
he's
love
got a
Tom
really-
Snyder. I was a kid. I didn't know. Dan, I'm so young. No, I'm not. But I was watching it going, I never thought of being on Saturday Night Live. I just was, every kid loves comedy. And I was like, oh my God. And that's Tom Snyder. I was just starting to get why it was so funny. I didn't really get the depth of how funny it was. I'm like, that's like the guy I just saw. And it was so good. It was like that dumb little studio and it's little lighting and you have a cigarette and all that stuff. I mean, Fred Garvin, was his name? Fred Garvin, male prostitute?
That's right. Little lady.
Say for the lady?
Yes, little lady. There
Well,
you go.
the name is funny at the time.
Fred Garvin.
That just sets his
Male
title,
prostitute.
and he announces himself that way. But the copycats and Rich Little in that generation, Frank Gorshman, and those are the shows I was watching. And
I
Flip
love
Wilson.
I love those impressionists. Rich Little,
Yeah.
Fred Travalina,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Gorshman,
right. Yeah.
Extraordinarily gifted.
Yeah, they were great.
And that was like magic to me. But when you guys came in and did them in a different context, it was just postmodern.
Yeah.
It's just
a lot of great impressionists on the show. Hartman was spectacular.
and we've referenced you and Phil. There's a connection, personality wise. You both have so many interests.
Yeah.
Outside of being quasi effortless performers, and then would go read these journals.
He was a pilot.
Yeah, he's a pilot.
Yeah,
he was sailing. He was.
I loved him. I loved him too. He was wonderful.
You did Bilko with him, right?
Yeah, that's right, Steve. Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's to Phil.
Yeah,
and
God
Chris.
rest
There we
his
go.
soul. Chris, John,
And a lot to
John.
be thankful for at this time of year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the old vodka there in the Skulls is available in stores all over the nation.
all over the
if you want
world.
to, if you want to get a
coolest
a gift
bottle
out to
you'll
friends.
ever
Well,
see.
it makes a great gift. That's why I'm on this kind of little tour here, because it's gift giving time of year, and we want to remind people that Thanksgiving and Christmas there's a gift you can bring home, and everybody wants to get ahead.
That's right.
Get head
But where do you
ahead.
get it? Is there a website? Is there
World Wide Web, crystalheadvodka.com. It's in most liquor stores across the country, chains and otherwise. Yeah.
Crystal Head, and I think it's got a pretty big brand name.
Yeah.
I think people really are aware
bottle
of it, but it's
is-
always
Oh,
good
we've
to
got a lot
stir
of
the
room
pot
to
because
grow.
there's a lot of
of room
people-
to grow. So yeah,
See,
the bottle should be on your shelf if you have liquor. It just
it
looks
should
cool.
have. Yeah,
It tastes good.
it should be on every bar.
Yeah.
in the
And
world.
Crystal Head, just in
All right,
just
we're
a
getting
few
there.
seconds before we get out of here. How'd you come up with that name?
Well, it's based on the legend of the Crystal Heads, which
From Indiana Jones?
was referenced in the Indiana
Okay.
Jones movie,
Ooh.
and they made a movie about it. In fact, we were developing the concept kind of right in parallel, and I find out that Steven's doing this movie about Crystal Heads. So I actually called him to take a meeting to tell him, we're not copying your enterprise
Oh,
here.
okay.
We started at the same time, and it takes 2 years to build a project like this. And
Mhm.
so I said, well, when your movie comes out, we'll be out on the marketplace. We'll have been out a little before, but I explained to him that and it wasn't kind of a plagiarism, and
Right.
it wasn't really. Crystal had, there were 13 of them.
What if he stole it from you?
I don't know. The lead time doesn't work out in
Okay.
terms of like when both projects came to fruition. But the Navajo, the Aztec, the Mayans were supposed to have had these heads, and they were used for crystal balls. And so we decided we were doing this vodka that had no fluids that were pollutants, glycol, sugar, limonene, clean. And so we wanted to sell the idea of enlightened, purified drinking of beverage alcohol, and this was the perfect package to put it in. Yeah,
Very creative.
yeah, it came from that.
I have one more question before this young man takes off. During that, when you leave SNL, you did a lot of big movies. You probably got offered some. Any ones that you wish you did, or is there movies that you got offered other than James Bond?
I would have liked.
Spies Like Us.
I don't.
Oh, Spies Like Us was so fucking great.
I don't know that I was offered anything that I turned down and it became. No, I don't think so.
No
Honestly,
regrets
no.
where you go, oh,
No.
I should have done that one. Spies Like Us was unreal. That was you and Chevy.
Yeah, I did. I did audition for things that I didn't get.
Oh,
the People versus Larry Flint.
Really?
I auditioned for the part of the lawyer played by Edward Norton,
okay.
and I auditioned for Milos Forman. You know, and I read it a couple of times.
Don,
do you work with him?
I auditioned for Amadeus.
Oh, did you? Yeah, Don, stop acting.
Oh, really?
Stop acting. He goes, stop.
He was too bored with me. I don't know if he just said, I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
During yours?
So there was
I didn't know what I was doing, but I did. I saw the movie and I go, okay, I see. They wanted a blonde-haired, cherubic guy.
Yeah.
Boy,
Did
genius.
you go off script and do chopping broccoli?
No, but I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
that
I know.
Was,
you
that
go
was
these,
my thing.
And you
so-
guys did, and you were great. And, you know, today your stuff endures just as strongly as anything that we ever did in that first cast. You know, if you look at Church Lady and all your impressions and, you know, and everything, you know, and your flight attendant, of course.
Classic. Oh, yeah. Bye-bye.
A classic.
Oh, yeah.
My theory,
all of it great.
My theory is this, is that music and comedy just have to reflect the times. And so we were for our time.
Yeah.
And then I don't ever want to be a grumpy old man about Taylor Swift. She's no John Lennon, you know, that kind of thing. I sat and tried to really do a deep dive into Taylor Swift because I want to know. And she's incredibly skilled. And same thing with Saturday Night Live now. This is their era.
And they're great.
Yeah.
And they're great. And Steve Higgins just said, Lorne wrote the Constitution. And then everyone interprets it for their time, for their era. So
no, the show's
some
been really
brilliant
great. Really great. The
Yeah.
Halloween show was outstanding writing. Really, really very smart.
Nate
writing.
Gerbatzi. We had him on the podcast a couple days later.
Yeah.
And
he's a great comic.
He's a really good writer,
really
and
sweet guy.
he's so excited about that. He'd
That
only
was
done talk shows.
Quality work. All of it.
That's
all
nice.
the
You
way
still
through.
watch.
the George
too.
Washington.
Oh yeah, well, when I'm awake, I mean, I live a very, very quiet life right now. Very quiet.
Good.
I'm not in the cities. I'm in the country.
That's where
Sold
I
your
want
hot
to be.
rods. I used to have a Grand National that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, right. All
Grand
right. The old
National.
Black National. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Black Grand National.
Store you go to,
Hand-me
and
dates.
everyone knows your name, kind of thing. and
No,
nobody
yeah. Oh yeah.
asks for an
Oh yeah.
autograph
Go in
or
on the
anything.
motorcycle or take one of the old, the old cars in.
It seems to me, just from afar, you've always had one foot still in whatever you call regular life.
I would say so. Yeah.
Motorcycle friends, get a steak. I don't know. I've heard things, but it seems like you've always kept that.
Well,
which
of
is-
course, for sanity, yeah. But I don't like living in cities anymore. I prefer living in the country just because I have tinnitus, the ringing, and also to sleep at night, the blackness. You need the blackness to sleep.
And where I have a place, the mountain air's coming in, and I can open my eyes or close my eyes.
Black.
And
Still black.
Black.
Yeah.
And dead quiet. All I'll hear is the coyotes sometimes throw a party, but it is
so good.
The deep sleep you get there.
It'll prolong life, that sleep. It really will. Yeah.
Mine's being short, and I'm about 40 feet from sunset.
It's quiet, and this is a fortress here, David.
I just hear bam,
this is where we want to be during the Great Reset.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got a lot of food.
No,
he stocks a lot of food.
This whole thing, Dan. First of all, we've all looked up to you. You're a lovely guy. You're always nice to me. I interviewed you for Spin Magazine when I got on SNL.
Yeah,
and you're so cool. And just the fact that you still generous, everything, and talking.
I
to
love
us.
hanging with
we
you
love
guys.
just bullshitting about the old days.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, there is an expression, Canadian nice, and I
it's
went
true.
to Canada once and did a gig, and there is Canadian nice. There's Minnesota nice, but Canadian nice was like I was just at a table before I was going to go out there, and a guy was like, he saw me look at some water. Hey, would you like some water there? I can get some water for you. So there is Canadian nice, and
There
Mike
is,
Myers yourself, and it's very sweet, and my wife's Canadian, so I'm
Much
partial.
appreciated.
And she's very nice too.
Sure.
She listens to the podcast.
I just did Calgary last weekend, and everyone was nice.
Yeah, it's just Canada's just a cool country.
It's not a rumor; it's real.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank
So
you,
anyway,
Danny.
Dan, it's been such an honor
lovely
and a
guys,
pleasure. You've been a big part of the puzzle of our little project here, and we're so glad to
We'll
have you.
We'll hang again soon.
Yes. See you around campus is what I
Okay,
say.
take care.
Slam my crystal head just for you.
David
Put a
has
little ice in
quietly
there.
gotten drunk during the
Little ice.
podcast. David is hot. David is messed up.
Stuff works.
Oh boy.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcasts.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.